the world's most immersive online casino. They say crypto is one big casino, so what better way to find product market fit than to build an actual casino? And that's exactly what Decentral Games has done with Bag City. And tonight is poker night. Nay that, D-Pin poker night on one of their private cash game tables, the perfect solution to play crypto native online poker with your friends. And speaking of friends, I have some of my nearest and dearest joining me, along with new friends that I get to meet tonight for the first time. So I'm truly blessed and highly favored. So please join me in welcoming these amazing people to the poker night. And they're going to teach us all about D-Pin tonight. So I'm super excited about that. Starting with Tyler, AustinCrypto.eth, with the .avax. You love to see that. We're going to have to get a .ron and get you all the gaming things. He is the host of the D-Pin Unleashed podcast. Web3 is the future. Tyler, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Icy. I'm excited to be here.
Let's go. Let's go. We'll drop all your links in the show notes below. Oh my goodness. Fake friend. I'm not following Unleashing D-Pin. We fixed that right there. You heard me say nearest and dearest, and I am very honored and proud to say that this person is such a good friend. Please welcome William Isle Marauder, hashtag couple goals. Look at this handsome gentleman in this wedding suit here. You've come a long way from the shrapnel woman's V-neck. My guy is host of the D-Pin Daily podcast, producing fantastic videos on the timeline, just covering everything that you need to know about D-Pin. I'm so honored to have you here, William. I love you so much. Thank you for helping put this together.
No, thank you, man. I'm super happy to be able to do this. I've been watching these poker nights that you've been hosting, and I've just been having a blast watching them. So it's great to be a part of one. So I get to play with some great friends in this space, and happily playing with you. Hopefully, I'm going to take all your money. It's going to be great.
Taking my money is the one thing that's not allowed to happen tonight. It happens too often. The crypto market's got enough of it. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Brian, representing D-Pin Crypto Network, the world's first D-Pin meme. Ooh, I like that. Entropy, massively and exclusively minor engaging. I can't wait to hear more about that. Brian, thank you so much for being here.
What's up, guys? First off, thank you so much for inviting me. You tagged William in a post earlier, and I was like, I'm so jealous. I got to vote for William. And then all of a sudden, William messaged me. He's like, hey, you want to play? And I'm like, 100% yes. Change my whole schedule. We're good. So excited to be here. Thank you so much.
That's amazing, man. Thank you it's an honor to have you here. So thank you for changing your schedule. Next up, we got Veronica Burin. I hope I pronounced your last name correctly. She is building Eclipse FND, Eclipse Fund. We're going to learn all about what she's up to. She's got the cutest bodago in a shower cap. And, this is a way to live over here. Look at that. Veronica, thank you so much for being here.
No, thanks so much for having me. I don't actually know which picture of my dog you're staring at, since we're not sharing your screen. But yeah, no, really excited about today and happy to share a little bit more about Eclipse as we play.
Let's go. I am looking at your Twitter banner here. I just started sharing that, so that's a great photo.
There's also a picture of my dog somewhere if you scroll. That's why. And I'm a huge proponent of my corgi. Lol.
Love it. Well, it's great to have you here. Returning to the poker streets. He didn't win enough money the first time around, so he's coming back for more. So everybody, please be on the lookout, because Jay is an absolute shark here. I think he won like $300-400 in the last game. So hopefully he comes back to donate some of that. But we got Jay representing the Grid Network. He is off the grid. He's in the Grid Network. He is off the chain. Jay, I love you, brother. Thank you so much for jumping back in, man. Are you going to make a donation tonight? That's the real question.
You'll probably see me splash a pot or two, but make no mistake, there's chum in the water tonight. Really honored to be here and be invited back. So ready to have some fun, shove my 7 deuce off, and dive deeper into D-Pin.
I can't wait.
My guy is already setting the stage. Don't fall for his mind tricks. With that, everybody, quick disclaimer. We've all been dropped $100 to play tonight. This is real money poker that we are playing. We play, so just like, the crypto markets, what you win, you win, what you lose, you lose. That's how the cookie crumbles. That's how the chips fall. But real quick disclaimer, gambling does involve risk. you should be 18 plus and over to play. Follow the local rules and regulations. We should probably like drop the gambling hotline over here. I've definitely like fallen into an unhealthy relationship with like online poker and, you know, had some dark times. So I just want to put that disclaimer out here. You know, you got to be careful and be responsible if you are going to jump on the tables. But these people, we don't have to be responsible tonight. With that said, everybody, I'm going to start the game, get the cards in the air, and good luck. May the poker gods be in your favor.
Wait, there's risk?
Wait.
And with that, the
That's a
first
game.
hand is underway. Oh, let's go to the table here. We got D-Pin Crypto Brian representing the Crypto Stash avatar. You love to see that. Unleashing D-Pin. This is a new one. I have not seen this ninja yet. So fantastic pick. I love your style. I love your taste, sir. Trunkletron returning and rocking the DG hoodie, like puffer jacket with the Bears. I mean, Bears, get out of here, man. Up only. We got William Marauder rocking the Pepe. You love to see that. And Veronica closing it with the little pudgy penguin, who are just so adorable, man. The little ones are so adorable.
They are very cute.
There's
They're
also
super cute. Side note, I think you're still sharing on the stream.
Oh,
now.
I am.
Oh, let me check that for you.
Yeah.
Let me check that.
Oh, let
No
me fold my
looksies,
head
no
now.
looksies.
Ripperoni.
I love how smooth this platform is. I have to say, like everything works very well.
First hand, guys. 288. I got this.
I feel like I'm like a fairly slow person, so there's so little time in between the turns.
You do have to kind of get used to, you know, the timing and the mechanic. When it is your time, there is a green countdown, but you do have a time bank if you wanted to use that to get some extra time. But it does go quick, and please be aware, because like sometimes your hand will fold and you're like, no, I wanted to raise or call, or I lost, you know, the pot. So
Yeah, I
very
see with the
fast-paced.
2x raise here, ladies and gentlemen.
no, wow, we're coming for it. I was gonna do 3, but Veronica intimidated me. Isle just folding back to back.
Hey man, tight.
You gotta
Tag,
do what
tight
you
and
gotta do.
aggressive. Tight and aggressive,
Just
bro.
getting in the groove, you know.
Keep it unpredictable.
So Isle, why don't we like set the stage a little bit, man? Tell me about D-Pin Daily. Tell me about D-Pin. What, like, if someone doesn't even know what D-Pin like stands for, like, what is it, and why do you love it, and why do you, like, you know, believe it's the future?
Yeah, so the thing with DPIN is, like, obviously the acronym's there. Like, it stands for Decentralized Physical Infrastructure Network. It's a mouthful, which is why I try not to say it too often, because a lot of people's eyes start rolling as soon as you mention like the whole phrase. Essentially, just think of it as you're either providing a service or selling your data. Essentially, you're providing data or providing a service and getting rewarded for it. It's that simple. So you're tapping into these like revenue models, these revenue structures that have existed for quite some time now, but they're being slowly evolved thanks to the way DPIN is evolving them, in a sense, like, you know, services change over time. Like you're decentralizing these. Like let's use Helium Mobile as an example.
Mm-hmm.
So like obviously you have telco, you have like, you know, AT&T, T-Mobile. You have all these like giant telecom companies, and they've had a monopoly on the industry for quite some time. The infrastructure to maintain those cell towers and whatnot, and to build new ones, it's tons of money. It costs a ton of money. Whereas you still have tons of dead zones throughout America. Like you still have a ton of spots where there's not good cell phone coverage. Helium Mobile steps in and says, hey, like, why don't we incentivize people to build their own cell towers, or to like use their own cell towers within their home or within their businesses, and provide cellular coverage using their internet. And so you can buy this device now, plug it into your house, or, you know, plug it into a place of business, and basically kind of make up for what these cell towers are like lacking. Like you can like kind of fill in the gaps and provide cell coverage. And because of that, those people that are like buying those devices, plugging them in, and, you know, providing that cell service, they're getting rewarded for it when people use their towers.
Right.
So that's kind of like the example of like a service DPIN. And then you have like a data DPIN, which is like, let's say there's like a noise pollution data set out there. My favorite one's Silencio. You have this like data that's just kind of like sitting there, like worth like billions of dollars, that's being collected in archaic ways. And there's been no real good way to incentivize people to collect it on their own until now. With blockchain, you can kind of automate a lot of processes, and basically have people collect all this data in mass, and then they're rewarded for it in kind. That's pretty much what DPIN is.
Yeah, no, it's super exciting. Super exciting, like infrastructure. Now, what are some of the projects? And I want to go around and like kind of hear from everybody else, like what's kind of exciting you guys as well, and like what kind of you're bullish on. But like, can you give me some of the other products that you're like have stood out to you? I think Helium Mobile is like a really good one, but I know you're into like, you know, some that, you know, as you're walking or going out doing physical exercise, like you're earning, you got some like, you know, running passively at home. Like, what are some of these products that are you're kind of using that have like been like light bulb moments for you of like, wow, this tech is really here. Veronica's a shark, by the way. She's played every single hand. I don't know. I have a 10 of clubs. I don't know if it's good. Okay, we're good. Thank goodness. Oh my goodness. Veronica, you make me nervous.
I would say
I'm
like
testing the platform out right now.
yeah.
I love
yeah,
it.
I mean, just in my case, like I've been super bullish on Silencio. Like obviously, like that was like one of the first ones that really like got me on board. It was kind of the light bulb moment of like, oh wait, there's this market that I didn't know about, like this noise pollution data market I had no idea about, and now I can participate and I can get rewarded for that, and it gets me outside more, and it's really cool. So that was definitely one that I'm like really enthralled by. But for like your more kind of like gamer side audiences, like there's these things called GPU compute deepins. You know, there's these things called like render network, Gaiman, Aether, all these things that utilize your GPU, which if you're a gamer, you have like this like, you know, probably chunky GPU sitting in your computer. And when you're not gaming, it's just sitting there not making you money. So now you can actually make it a part of this like cloud compute network where it's like either, you know, training AI or running AI, or it's rendering like, you know, it's rendering like movies or like editing software and whatnot. And you can participate in that and then, you know, get rewarded for it. And it's pretty sick.
I love that. I love that.
It's really interesting that Silencio was like your first deep in. I personally don't like, you know, like Helium was like mine. And hold on. Interesting play here.
That's sometimes part of the struggle.
Wait.
Min click,
I'm out of that hand. All right. Anyway, it's interesting because Silencio, because I view Silencio as a fairly newer project. When did you get involved? What year?
I got involved last year, like early last year.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, deepins in RWA is like a recent, just like I would say they're more recent discovery for me. Like I got involved probably like June 2023. Really. So you went Silencio. Then what was your next one? My next one had to be, oh my goodness, what was it? I think it was Aether. I believe it was Aether, or it was one of the GPU deepins.
And what drew you to GPU deepin?
Just because I have a hunky like gaming computer. I have this like really really bulky like badass like RTX 3080 I've been sitting on for 4 years, and I was like, you know, I already have it. I might as well use it, you know, and that's kind of like the thought process that really led me to it.
And you okay, that's pretty cool. And are you currently building like independent devices outside of DPIN and CPU, or excuse me, out of GPU and CPU? Like, are you doing Helium nodes or Helium devices and demo?
I'm going to be buying some nodes pretty soon. The hardware DPINs I haven't gotten involved with just yet. I've been kind of waiting to like figure out how I want to build my portfolio. So like the very first one I got involved with was the Wayru hotspot. That was the very first one I just bought. I literally just set it up today. So I'm going to be buying, while this sale is going on, I'm going to be buying the Helium indoor hotspots too.
Oh wow, yeah, Helium like that was my first. Whenever they started their IoT network, and everybody was diving in on that. Everyone was so skeptical, and then all of a sudden they just kind of jumped in on it. And then I had kids, like I legitimately had kids, so I didn't look at it for 2 years. And when it came back, it was like, oh my gosh, look how much money is sitting in this account.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the main things that attracted me about DPINs was like it's not passive income necessarily, but the ability to build different revenue streams using these devices, or just like, you know, downloading.
Oh my goodness,
dude, nice hand, man. We
both cutting you off.
No.
Did we split that?
Yeah,
wow.
We split it, dude. We both
holy cow.
We both flopped.
All right.
Nice hand.
Jack
nice
10,
hand.
both of us. Nice hand, yep.
I was like freaking out on the flop. You played that really well because you did not miss a beat in your conversation with Will. Oh man, GG's.
I have some history.
I'm very impressed. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really interesting. Because I feel like there's like this natural progression when people that get into deep end. Something draws them in. They learn about like Silencio or Helium, and then they start branching out.
Yeah.
And I feel like right now is an excellent time to get involved. Like I think next 6 months is the whole deep end landscape is going to change. Like I actually feel like Helium is not going to be the pin as everyone calls it at this point.
Hot take.
Hot take,
Okay.
right?
I'd love to like hear a little bit more about that, Brian, but like real quick, can we just I'd love to go around and like hear how everyone got into DPin. So maybe like, we just heard from William.
Yeah.
Brian, like how did you get into DPin and like what are you doing with the DPin crypto network?
I got in through the Helium IoT network.
Okay.
And from there, I was in it, building on that, and then let me fold this hand. And then I didn't touch for 2 years. I had kids. I came back. I was aware. I had started a marketing company, and I ended up selling that marketing company. Had a small exit there, and then I'm under like NDA and non-compete, so I really can't do much in the marketing space. But what I can do is I can start a crypto page dedicated to learning about DeepIn projects, and that's what I did, which is DeepIn Crypto Network. And I'm only like 130, 140 days old. I've already had 100 million impressions, or excuse me, 1 million impressions, not 100 million.
I was like, 100 million, Jesus.
100 million would be great, man. I'd be banking. Anyway, I am now the community lead for Conduit Network, and then I'm involved with Entropy as the first DeepIn meme coin. I build, I expand, and I preach DeepIn gospel as it comes to me. So
Praise be.
Oh my goodness. Jay, nice hand.
Give him a second. He's good.
No,
Give him a
I
second.
fold. Good.
getting distracted. Oh my gosh,
I had
$34
ace
pot.
9, but I think you've got like a pocket pair higher. I think you got like queen.
Sorry,
or
let me.
something.
Yeah, I had queens. Sorry, I didn't
Yeah.
show it fast enough.
Ice is
No,
gonna have to buy in about 20 minutes.
hey, chill, yo. Don't embarrass me in front of my friends. That's cool, man. So wow, you congratulations on just starting that like 6 months ago. Or you said 3 months, 6 months? What was it?
Yeah, like 130 days ago, so like 4 months. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's amazing, man. Congratulations. That's exciting. I guess what drew you to DeepIn? Like, and I'm curious for everyone else here, like, were you guys in crypto before and then DeepIn like really struck you as, oh, this is like the future and what I'm super excited about? You kind of mentioned getting in through like the IoT, the Internet of Things kind of thing, because that's been my journey with gaming. Like I was a crypto guy, I did a bunch of DeFi stuff, and then I just saw gaming emerge, and I was like, oh, this is how this technology that I love is going to come to the masses, because we're gonna have like a breakout game that's gonna just go catch on like wildfire, and like people will be Trojan horsed into crypto. So I'm just kind of curious, like, what was it about DeepIn? Was it that, or was it something else?
Well, for me, I'm a really practical person, right? Like if it doesn't serve like a real purpose in people's lives or have the ability to change people's lives, like I'm not invested.
Yeah.
And a lot of like you look at like DeFi and how it is banked the unbankable. Let's do work in Africa. Let's do work in places that are developing, and let's give them the opportunity through DeFi to develop. And then you realize, oh no, like they don't have access to things.
Yeah.
They don't have access to infrastructure that they need.
Yeah.
Well, I jumped on that bandwagon like Cardano. I was a big hit on because they were doing a lot of cool things. And, since then I feel like it kind of fizzled out, but that's just my personal take.
Yeah.
And then Helium came along, they were doing that. And then I came back after 2 years, and now we have amazing projects that are doing real world stuff. We're actually seeing revenue begin.
Yeah.
And that's why I think the next 6 months is going to be awesome.
I love that.
So-
I love that. I want to bring Tyler into the conversation, man. Unleashing DeepIn, talking about it, making changes in the world. How did you get into the space? What's kind of your passion or driving force behind, covering DeepIn? And yeah, I'd love you to tell me a little bit more about unleashing DeepIn and what you're working on.
Yeah, happy to share a little bit of my background. I started in crypto back in 2016, 17. I had a startup that was building kind of early decentralized identity standards. And so I got exposed to just a lot of what is crypto, kind of how the machine works and whatnot. But I started another project in 2022, a company called 3num, and so we're basically trying to replace phone numbers with wallet addresses. Excuse me. And so that had a lot of synergies, if you will, with kind of a lot of the decentralized wireless things. And so that's where I initially got my introduction to it, if you will. And I thought, man, this is actually, ironically, I first thought this is kind of a scammy model. Like I was like, okay, we're just going to incentivize people with crypto to do what? Like what's kind of the business case? How does this make a lot of sense? And the more I dug into kind of driving down capital expenditure costs and really building out these robust infrastructure networks, I thought, man, this is pretty compelling. So I'd always had this desire in the back of my mind to start a podcast.
Yeah.
And so that was how everything kind of came to fruition. It was, I think this is going to be potentially big after I got over this might be a scam. And then the rest is sort of history. So we've been really dedicated on the Unleashing Deepin podcast to building kind of tools and other resources for the space. So we've got a earnings aggregator called Deepin Pulse, which basically ranks different projects by their earning potential, whether that's from the hardware standpoint or getting involved with applications and whatnot. And so we've got some other things up our sleeve and on the roadmap to launch for the space in the future, because we're trying to help again advance as much user adoption as we possibly can through podcast interviews, tools, all that kind of good stuff.
I love that, man. That's amazing. When did you start the podcast? Like how long has the podcast been running?
Yeah, we started it in 2022. So if I'm not mistaken, we were sort of the first ones to do like specifically Deepin podcasts.
Amazing.
So we actually were primarily focused around the wireless space, just because that was kind of where my interests were and what intersected with what I was spending my time doing. But
I had to flush, by the way. All right, I had to straight. Excuse me. I had to straight.
Dang, I was going for the straight. I missed it.
I had it.
That's amazing, man. So you're kind of early to the space a little bit and stuck through and built through, the bear market. Really, like, I'd love to ask you guys a little bit more about building through the bear. But before I do, I want to bring Veronica in and hear a little bit more about what you're building with Eclipse. Veronica, how did you get into the Deepin space? Tell me about Eclipse and what you love about Deepin.
Yeah, so I guess I got into crypto in about 2019, but am fairly new to Deepin. I actually only got into Deepin when I joined Eclipse, which was about a year and a half ago. And so kind of in terms of like my career path, I was really interested in crypto, right? I spent a couple years on the institutional side, the DeFi side of things, and was primarily trying to understand like what is the next big thing that's going to bring in new users, because I feel like nowadays, right, especially with different types of products being built out on the DeFi side of things, right, the initial user pool is still fairly the same, right, especially with anything around like points farming, right, like liquidity is just moving between different chains. It's not necessarily new entrants into the market. And then when I discovered
Damn.
Deepin, like
You psycho.
what a wild hand.
Bro.
I
But
folded a 9, you psychos.
Oh my gosh. Sorry.
So close. Sorry.
Oh,
GG's. Nice
I
hand.
mean-
Sorry, that happens
GG's.
on the poker table, but I want to, please continue, Veronica.
I'm multitasking, but yeah, I guess like Deepin was the first like really interesting topic when I joined Eclipse. So Eclipse initially was a roll-up as a service provider where we were catering to different types of dApps, building out, their own app chains. And we were kind of the first people to coin SVM chains, so chains that are leveraging the Solana virtual machine. So all of the advantages of Solana.
I hate you so much. Sorry.
But yeah, I think like we were really catered towards building out app chains for like high throughput dApps, and Deepin being kind of in that sector, right? I wanted to take a little bit more interest on that, so I started kind of leading that vertical, and that's when I got into Deepin, and it really blew my mind how there were so many new users, normies, who could be using Deepin, right? And that's what we see now, right? I think like the whole Deepin craze started within the last year or
Yeah.
so, and like so many normal people now have Helium Mobile. So many people are, farming Silencio, right? So many projects, right? I hear, family members talking about Helium, things like that, which is like super interesting. So yeah, it definitely has, a special place in my heart.
Question for everybody here, like, was Helium, what was like the Deepin moment? Like, is it Helium? Like, kind of in gaming, we have like Axie, right? Axie Infinity. It created the whole GameFi movement and really shot, went mainstream. It's since, kind of retraced, obviously. And, a lot of the games have kind of been building through the bear market. But like, was there a Deepin moment that kind of went viral for you guys and brought a lot of people and interest into the space? I'm curious. Maybe there is, or maybe there hasn't, and you guys are kind of like building for that.
I can kick that off.
Yeah, please.
Well, with
Jay.
a little 2 cents. Well, I first got interested in Deepin through Helium. So for me, at least, Helium was that Axie moment for Deepin as a concept. And what I really appreciated about it as a use case was how easy it was to talk about and get others involved who had nothing to do with crypto or too busy to deal with crypto, and they just want to feel like they're a part of what's going on in crypto.
When you're done speaking, can you just stop winning every
Yeah, dude, this is bullshit.
guy?
I'm sorry.
People stop giving him money. That would fix the problem.
So I have about 5 or 6 Helium hardware devices, and I have the
Nice.
special antennas. But what's even cooler than that was I was able to go to people like, my cousin and my brothers-in-law and be like, yo, there's this cool crypto thing going on. You can have a device in your house and contribute to a network, and you can get rewarded. And they were a lot more excited about that as a concept versus Bitcoin is cool.
Yeah.
Because they heard me talking about Bitcoin for a long time, like since 2017. And they're like, yeah, we also think it's cool. But then they realized that with Deepin, they have something of value, and then they can provide that value as a service, through their location. Like, it made sense in their mind where it wasn't just people after their bank account. It was people that wanted to partner with them. Like, I have technical knowledge of the crypto space. I don't have a location. You don't have technical knowledge of the crypto space, but you do have a location. Let's partner up. Like, I'll get the hardware. I'll give you a share of the revenues. It made so much sense. It excited my brothers-in-law so much to be a part of this whole Deepin thing.
That's cool.
Did you guys just see what happened?
Yeah,
when-
I went all in and took the
what
money.
the
Yeah, I think he needed that, honestly.
Pretty sure I had everyone beat.
Jay, before we go back to everybody else, you've been so if anyone doesn't know, Grid Network was actually the first product on Amazon where you can go buy digital card packs, basically, or this like this pack that like then you could redeem for digital rewards on their platform. So basically you could essentially buy like gaming credits and gaming reward credits from these packs on Amazon, which was absolutely amazing. This launched a few weeks ago. So Jay, I'm just curious, like, how you doing, man? How's everything over at Grid Network? How's the launch going? And what's happened since the last time we spoke?
Oh yeah, things are going great over here at Grid Network. I mean, now that Off the Grid is fully out there and in full force, we do be sure to disclaim that we are a different grid. No relation, but we love what those guys are doing. There is a 1 in our brand, GR1D Grid. But yeah, it's been going great. Since the Amazon distro announcement, we've had a lot of new entities contacting us to get onto our ecosystem. We have over a dozen games that are live right now with collectibles on our platform, and 100 in the pipe ready to come down. Also making major strides with some of the bigger games in the space that might be doing some exclusive drops with us. And the Amazon news also opened a lot of doors with other major Web2 brands that we're talking to right now. So hopefully we'll continue to do our part to really shout from the mountaintops that Web3 is here. It has cool stuff to offer typical people, and they should be paying attention. So happy to be here.
Love that, man. Congrats, dude. Super stoked for you guys.
By the way, guys, I my game rug, so I'm joining the table again here. But
I was wondering why it said away on your guy. Your guy's like sleeping right
Yeah,
now. I
you're-
was like, come on, Tyler, wake up.
Your guy's in meditation right now.
He looks so disappointed. Yeah.
I
He's like,
am
this is
disappointed.
bullshit.
It is fun actually. There's like a bunch of emotes and stuff that you can do. There's also like hidden commands that will just do craziness in the table. There's
The
one that I
claps.
won't use, but is it? Hold on, is it?
I gotta say, I'm very impressed with this platform. Like,
Yes, agree.
I've played a lot in casinos, and this feels like I'm in a casino, oddly enough.
Yeah, there's a reason we call it the world's most immersive online casino. It was born out of Decentraland actually. So they had a very similar 3D build that we're using right now in Decentraland, but kind of ran up against a lot of the limitations of building on someone else's SDK. This is actually the game that brought me into gaming, so it's really cool to continue working with them 2.5 years later, and they're building their own like fully 3D environment, really leaning into virtual poker, but they've always been crypto native, so there's a lot they can do. They ended up migrating to Blast, and they're one of the big Blast Gold participants, and they're deep in that ecosystem. In my opinion, one of the best games building on Blast, because it's like true game native, and they're really good at shipping a bunch of products and updates and UI, and it's been a blast working with them.
Yeah, no pun intended.
Yeah,
Blast.
so I'm thrilled. Like that's why I really enjoy like bringing people into the onto the site and giving them the experience. So really, again, thank you guys for coming.
Yeah, like I get like, you get older and you have kids and your friends, and you're like, you kind of connect through gaming now, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And I could definitely see playing this with friends, like 100%.
Yeah, I'm
Doing
definitely
cash
hitting
games
you up
once
and
a week.
playing this. I'm hitting you up and we're playing this again, bro.
I'm in.
And
Let's do this.
that's the other thing. I love their private table feature. So you can set a
Yes.
private table, set whatever stakes that you want to play, and just like have the home game with your buddies. I know you guys, some people, got the bourbons going, got the old fashions going, and just have fun and talk trash.
Talking trash is my favorite thing to do. It's from my Call of Duty days. All the rage just seeps out sometimes.
So like let's get into that a little bit. Has there been in gaming, right? I cover there's always drama and things happening. Has there been any deep in drama? Like what's either kind of like happening in the space that's just kind of like wild? Are there,
Oh my goodness, Tyler, I'll let you take it, man.
Well, we can go back through the rug history of a couple of the deep in rugs that have happened, but I don't know if that's super fruitful for people. I think there's definitely a little bit of contention within the decentralized wireless space, just people competing seemingly competing for market share, when the reality is, we're super early and there's more than enough market for all of these different projects to succeed.
Yeah.
So I think that it's a little bit misguided energy in terms of how people are kind of, stacking these chips against each other. Because at the end of the day, these incumbents are massive companies that have more than enough opportunity for disruption. And so I think it's a little bit,
A lot of people just slap the word deep in on their project thinking it's going to like catch fire. And you're just like, and you're just kind of like sitting there, like you'll read their white paper, or you just like give them a little quick look and you're like, okay, this is complete BS. But Tyler, sorry for cutting you off, man. I just wanted to add that.
No, you're 100% right. It's obviously there's a lot of froth in the space, and so this is like any crypto cycle where everybody starts just throwing the word around because it's the next big thing, and it gets users and VCs excited and blah 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 blah. So that's starting to happen. I think one of the things that's really great about a lot of the folks on this table in particular is like we've got a pretty good filter for not putting spotlights on projects that are just trying to capture the narrative and be more or less opportunistic. So I think for people that are looking for kind of like information around Deepin, like everybody here is a good guide, good filter. I respect that about all the folks here. So
I love that.
Yeah, right back at you, dude.
I love that. I mean, no, Isles, we've connected over the past year through gaming and just become like really good friends. He's one of the best dudes that I've met in the space. Just so kind, always so positive and smiling, and just like, so creative too. His content is just incredible.
It's all my dogs. It's all thanks to my dogs.
I'm curious, like, what's the most exciting thing, or what's the thing that you're most excited for kind of maybe happening over the next 3 to 6 months? I think, maybe I forget who it was, maybe Brian or Tyler was saying like, it's getting exciting, the next 6 months are going to be pretty crazy. So I'm curious like what that kind of looks like, or what that catalyst could be?
I mean, I guess I can go. I mean, I'm really pumped for Peak Mainnet. It's coming out pretty soon. Hopefully, they keep mentioning that this layer 1 blockchain called Peak. It's launching. They're launching their mainnet hopefully in December. And with it, a ton of projects are going to be entering the market that I'm extremely bullish on. So I'm very, very excited about that development. As well as just general growth happening. Like we're seeing lots of movement in this space. Like Helium Mobile just partnered with the University of South California, the Trojans over there. Like, so they have like a marketing advertising deal for football games, like college football. So now they're advertising this like crypto DePIN, like project / like protocol, whatever you want to call it, in a football stadium, like for college football games, which is a huge market. And you're seeing them like get college kids to come on board and say, and they don't even mention the crypto part. They just say, hey, $20 phone plan.
Yeah.
Like that's all you gotta say. $20 a month, unlimited data. Here you go. And people are loving that. So I'm just excited to see all of that. But go ahead.
No, I didn't mean to cut you off. I think that's the most compelling part about this narrative is like, if you've been around the block with Web3 for a while, it's always about where the user's going to come from, where you're going to get adoption. Like there's been more adoption with some of these DePIN projects than almost any other kind of project in crypto, with some exceptions, obviously. But like as a sector, that's I gotta get my bed in here. As a sector, I think you're seeing dramatically larger upticks in user adoption than a lot of other areas within the Web3 space. And for me, I just think that's such a testament to the model working and being able to continue to expand the pie. So I love seeing that happen.
Well, that begs that was going to lead into my next question. Like if someone wanted to get started with DePIN, like how did they get started? Where would you kind of point them? Like what's the best kind of, I don't know, entry point, right? Is it getting one of the phones and, the phone plans, or doing something else?
I mean, my take might be different than Brian, Tyler's, and Veronica's, but I would say start with like the software-based DePINs. Something that's very easy, there's way less friction. You're not dumping like any money, any capital into this thing originally. You're just downloading a free to download app. You're collecting data. That data is then being sold, and then you're getting rewarded for it. So like things like Silencio, things like Nadix. Nadix is a driving app. You basically just all you have to buy is a little car mount, like for your phone, like an Uber driver kind of, and then you just place the camera right there in the windshield, and then you just start when you drive, you turn it on, and that's all you gotta do. And so stuff like that's like super easy to get into with no risk of capital involved is my favorite to start off people with.
I would second that 110%. There's no friction. There's virtually no risk. You can get started with things that you already have, like a smartphone, begin earning, kind of seeing what the model can do. And the reality is like those inputs in terms of the model are actually important. Like if you look at projects like Silencio, you need people mapping data on their phones. You look at projects like Nadix. I mean, all of the projects that have different kind of app-based solutions, they do provide value within the network. Obviously, it's a scale, right? So it's a fragment of what a physical hardware is, but it doesn't negate the fact that they are still doing something that's worthwhile and users can get compensated as a result, which is pretty awesome.
Well, I might have a different take. Here's my hot take.
Here we go.
All right. I'm gonna preach for my own mistakes, right?
Please. So we're here for
the reality is, I think you can 100%. I agree with what they're saying, but I think that we should encourage the education side first. It's too easy to jump into a project that looks good and it fall apart, 20 days afterwards. Oh, it's on sale, it must be good, right? Not the case, right? So what I would say is go follow these guys on this table and listen to what they're saying, because I trust what all these guys are saying, and just a 20-minute conversation with one of us will definitely change your perspective overall.
What is happening?
Straight on the board.
Sorry.
Crazy.
What are you talking about? No, we're having fun here. Oops. Did I win that?
Chop it. No,
sorry.
you chop it.
Sorry. I had to straight and then I slow played it because I wasn't paying attention. I'm so sorry. Anyway, so what I would do is that, and there's some really good resources. Go look at Who Loves Burrito. Every week on Friday, he posts an ROI, the top ROI projects, the fastest ROIs. And you'll look at projects like Geode. What else is on there? Oh my gosh, my brain is slipping now. One old fashioned in, I'm done. Right. Go look at it. You're going to realize really fast, like what projects are going to ROI the fastest. Get in, make the most of your money. You get out with your ROI, and then everything after that's profit. You literally have to do nothing. Right.
Yeah.
So
Shout out Who Loves Burrito. He's the man.
Yeah.
oh yeah, he's definitely the man.
I
Yeah.
love burritos. That's
His
it.
database powers a lot of our Deep Impulse site, and if it wasn't for him, it would have been a very tall order to fill with trying to get all that information.
I hate
So
you, Brian.
I love that. I just gave him a follow. I've got his profile up on the stream. If you guys aren't following him, I guess he's one of the must follows in the D-pin space. So
if you see his burrito rankings soon, I gave him that idea. Just FYI.
you?
Just like
Did you really? That's great.
If you see his burrito rankings, like a what is it called, like moldy or like sour burrito or whatever, like that burrito.
I love that.
I gave him that idea, and he was like, "I'm definitely using that." So
That's
just saying.
awesome.
Well, and he has like red flags. Like if you go check out a project, if it's new and you're like, I want to get involved, go look at his website. If it's got a red flag, it'll tell you no, don't do it. So
Yeah,
I love that.
definitely worth the follow, guys.
Oh, okay. My guy's gonna 3-bet me over here, unleashing the 3-bet. All right.
This is a bagged out win moment.
All right. I'm gonna check too. I missed.
Oh boy.
How did Icy end up like top 2 in market cap over here?
I love that. Listen, I had to take down Trunkletron a little bit over here. I gotta. All right, Fold, you win. You win. I respect your authority.
Veronica's seething over there. She's like, "Oh my god! Like, I just need to win one."
You got quiet. Yep.
She's like,
Task. So
Same.
No, definitely.
This is a challenge in and of itself.
because then the counter starts making that beeping sound.
Yeah.
So
Your heart rate goes up. You're just like,
Dude.
"Oh my god!"
They should integrate a heartbeat monitor to this game. That would be awesome.
That'd be pretty cool.
I'm gonna check.
I was gonna say watch X, but yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like,
There you go.
dude, I follow Isle, right? And I always see he's got so many different D-pin stuff. He's earning while he drives. He's earning on his phone. He's earning while he works out. I'm like, man, there seems to be so many interesting projects like happening over there. So I'm like, I'm curious. Yeah, what are some of the ones that have like really stood out of like, dude, this is crazy? Because we have this a little bit in the gaming side, right? Everything was like move to earn, watch to earn. Like this whole to earn narrative kind of came out, and it feels like there's a lot of parallels with some of the D-pin stuff. So I'm curious, like your guys' perspective as well. Like, are some of these projects just, I imagine, like gaming, some of them are like, man, you don't have a chance to really make it. I don't really know what you're doing. It doesn't make sense. And then some of them are like, holy crap, this is going to change the world. And this is why we are here. These really brilliant, smart people are building, what's going to be the future of how society and people, connect and interact and use their software, their hardware, and interact with the blockchain.
I think there's styles. There's definitely styles.
We all have so many hot takes on this.
Yeah.
I know, like seriously. I'll jump in.
Say that I'll jump in, Brian. I'll jump in.
Go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead.
But like just really quickly, like the way I think about it is like the thing that really attracted me to D-pins and RWAs in general is that these are existing revenue streams, right?
Yeah.
Like there's existing business models that already that they're already there. They're already established. There's already you can just like literally do a quick Google search and find out like what the global market value is for like a data set.
Right.
So if you find a D-pin that's building to collect or capture some of that data and like maybe like redefine how to capture it and maybe more efficiently capture it, that is kind of like a 1 + 2 = 3 moment for me.
Yeah.
When it comes to D-pins specifically. Whereas in like other crypto projects, other gaming stuff, it's highly speculative just because it's like, oh, this is a market that is like it's, even for gaming, like it's kind of like if you build a great game and it has zero marketing and no one knows what it is, it's like it's gonna fail, unfortunately, And I just feel like when it comes to D-pins, if I can discover something that's going to revolutionize how that thing is collected, because like let's just say like I'm just gonna say Silencio again, like Silencio noise pollution. Like there's been no other like really amazing ways to collect noise pollution data before now with Silencio. Like the only way to really do it would be to like install microphones in like every neighborhood, which isn't feasible. So it's like, why not incentivize people to use these microphones on our smartphones, which everyone has, most people have, to collect this thing, and thus, bringing more value to that data in the end by like saying, hey, there's more of it, it's more abundant now. Oh my god, I can't believe I just did that. I ran out of time.
Oh,
Hey, you wanted to jump in, baby.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. But anyways,
You
what I'm
fought for
saying
that.
is that
You
there's
fought for that, yeah.
there's established markets, and it makes
Yeah.
sense to me that there's these things that are tapping into them. So Brian, I'll let you take it.
Okay, so I think there's styles, right? Like I'm a set it and forget it guy, and I know guys that have 5 or 6 iPhones on their dash. They're driving around every day. They got to push all these buttons, and I'm just not that kind of guy. You give me a replacement for like real world use, that's fine. You give me something that I can like put it on my car and be done with it forever. That's my style.
Yeah.
Right. I can't handle like adding something to my daily routine. I'm just not me.
Yeah.
So.
I'm a little of the same, like my style, like there's a lot of these like play to airdrop campaigns going on. And it's like, it just feels like work. Like I don't want to play your game,
100%
for the airdrop. That's going to be like worth, $15 or something like that. Right.
Yeah.
If the game's not fun, right?
Just for information here, I folded pocket aces right there.
No.
Oh,
Pocket aces.
no.
I was trying to wait to the end of that hand just for perspective.
I'm so sorry. It's happened. Hey, Isle, it's happened to me. It happens to the best.
I ran out of time and it folded. I was like, no. I was like, saw my hand. And I was like, and I saw the ace on the turn there, and I was like, dude, no.
Brutal.
Oh,
Is that why Chuckleton has $170? Like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
he's the only one in 3 figures, guys. We got to work on this.
That's a coincidence. No, I'll play a game to airdrop if it's fun. Even if I
exactly.
don't expect a lot from it. But what's really cool, I think, about DPIN is how the digital the digital network effect can be verified by the physical network effect, where it's not necessarily true with other projects. Because with DPIN, you can research, you can show like there's all these devices everywhere. They're doing things, they're running the network. And while blockchain nodes also run blockchains, they're a lot more abstract to the everyday person. It's like, well, what do you mean? Like there's computers somewhere running a
Right.
node. What does that even mean? But like in DPIN, you can point to someone. It's like there's a node at this dude's house.
Yeah.
It kind of brings people back to the early days of Bitcoin, where it's like I'm mining Bitcoin on my work laptop, and that's really cool. And because of that kind of conversation that could start with Bitcoin back in those days, it grew Bitcoin to the size it is today. So DPIN has a lot of built-in advantages to creating a positive network effect just from the way it's set up.
Yeah.
I couldn't
And
agree more.
gamification is important too,
Yes,
I mean,
definitely.
I feel like the gamification is really important because at the end of the day, that's just how you bootstrap a community. And also, I feel like with a lot of DPIN, right, it's just easy and like a tangible product. And there's also just like a tangible reward, right? Like when you use Helium Mobile, now you don't have to use T-Mobile, right? And so I've been on Helium Mobile for a while, and it works great because like T-Mobile was charging me a disgusting amount, so I can
Same.
actually see, I can see the tangible result, and like it works great. So, and also I feel like it's nice that you can just kind of like fire and forget.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, with like a lot of DeFi or just like traditional crypto, right? They do overwork you for the airdrop.
Yeah. I guess that's a great
grass,
question.
off,
Like
off,
what's been has there been anything that's like completely transformed your life or your user behavior, right? Like, oh, I used to have this phone plan, got rid of it. I'm saving $80 a month. This new network is, the same, if not better before, but now I'm earning like, monthly. And are there like, use case, or are there case studies of people that are making few $100s, few $1,000s a month using DPIN? Like what are some of those kinds of things that you're seeing in the space happen, or are any of you
Boys,
guys
you tell
doing
them.
stuff like
Boys
that?
and gals, you tell them.
Yeah, tell me. I'm trying to choose rich out here, guys, and maybe that's DPIN.
Who did you ask to say that?
Yeah, any one of us. That's why I said boys and gals. You guys tell them. I didn't want to take the stage.
With Helium, I have hotspots. Like I have, I'm reaching a petabyte of data on a hotspot in a gym a month. So that's pretty good. It's amazing what to do whenever you're doing 40, 50 gigs data a day. So yeah, like it's very easy to set up 4 or 5 of these things in prime locations with like Helium with carrier offload and make a great, living off it essentially. And I know people with a couple hundred of these hotspots out right now.
Really?
And it's absolutely incredible.
That's wild.
You guys are degens, first of all. Can I just say? I don't know what is going on this table.
Yeah, I'm like,
I thought this was D-Pin, not degens. Like, what is happening?
Well, it's crazy with Helium is a $300 hotspot can ROI in 2 weeks sometimes.
Wow.
If you have a prime location, you can ROI in 2 weeks.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what you were talking earlier about, how do you prepare for a bull market year and a bear market? What do? Nothing. You just you keep building, you accumulate, and whenever you come to a bull market, you just time and cash out whenever you're ready.
Yeah.
It's absolutely insane. You don't have any more additional investment if you don't want to.
Even in a bear market, Brian, like you're not going to stop utilizing your data. You're not going to stop being a part of the network because it's just consistent revenue. Like you're still running for that network.
She's not a penguin, she's a shark. Look at that. You wanted triple digits.
Wow. She just jumped. Who just dumped on that? You're William, you're 100% right there. Honestly, there's no point if it's set up and it's running to turn it off and walk away. Because a lot of these devices, you're talking like it draws the power of a router. It's not like Bitcoin mining where you're spending $3 a day running it.
Yeah, I was about to bring that up. Exactly.
One of the other things, I have a mining business on the side for like doing full-time deployments with these different projects like Helium and XNet and whatnot. And one of the amazing things is that it's a known quantity with your ROI information because, unlike Bitcoin where, there's hash rate and you're kind of competing for making sure your electricity cost is low, you're getting paid a fixed amount. Like the carriers pay Helium Mobile a fixed amount that they pay deployers on a fixed basis for how much data is passing through these hotspots. So assuming you have them in high footfall traffic areas, it's you're to Brian's earlier point, you can set these things up in ROI in a pretty short turnaround time.
Yo, shout out Bryson for the raid real quick. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just got to shout out Bryson with the Twitch raid. 1,800 people. My guy, Ice and Dark, coming through. Bryson, the legend. I love you so much. Thank you for always supporting me. Welcome to the Icy Poker D-Pin Poker Night. We got legends on the table. Veronica, let me go through everyone's Twitter for everyone here.
I didn't know you're on Twitch.
In the Twitch raid. We got Tyler representing D-Pin Unleashed. We're learning all about decentralized physical infrastructure tonight. The Unleashing D-Pin podcast is amazing. You got to check it out. William Isle Marauder hosted the D-Pin Daily podcast. We got the D-Pin Crypto Network. We got royalty in the building. We got Veronica Burren building Eclipse, Solana on Ethereum. How about that? Why choose one when you can have both? And of course, we got Jay from the Grid Network. So sorry to interrupt, but I just wanted to show love to the Bryson raid.
What's your Twitch channel?
Actually, so I stream on Twitch under Web3 Gamer, which is I'll post it in the chat here for us. But I appreciate that.
I found it.
Cool. Big shout out to Bryson for the raid, the legend, the OG
Bryson
of the gaming space. But no, you guys are like red pilling me on D-Pin right now. I'm like, my mind is being blown for like what's happening. I feel like I need to be choosing rich from D-Pin. I'm gonna go buy some of these hotspots, man. My goodness, are people just like? I know it's like obviously not all about the money, right? But like these are networks that have been established that people are really using and are benefiting from, is what I'm really hearing.
Well, let me put it this way: we have everybody has assets, right? And the economy isn't great. We can't sit down and let our assets not generate revenue. So if you have the ability to capitalize on that, like D-Pin's giving us, whether it's through Geo, WeatherX, Helium hotspots, there's so many opportunities now through D-Pin to capitalize and gain income from that. Like if you have a bunch of rental properties or you have commercial properties sitting empty, we have ways to actually generate revenue and offset the costs. And then later on, as the value of the property increases, then you can go sell it and do whatever you want with it. But in the meantime, what would $300, $400, $500 a month do to you as a person or a family if you're living near the poverty line?
Yeah,
it would do a lot, right?
Yeah. This
I
is so
I
cool.
want to do this as either in like an article or like a tweet thread, but the math to get to $10,000 in basically passive income a month off DPIN doesn't require like lots and lots of investment. It requires obviously some capital outlay, but the time that it takes to get there is you're probably talking an order of magnitude of months rather than like a year. And I mean, I think it's really really possible, which is
Yeah.
hard to compete against, right?
You know, Tyler, one of the things I mentor some high schoolers, and a lot of what I talked about is I go, hey, you got a job, you're making, $800 a month, right? I'm like, what are you doing? Are you buying video games, or are you actually buying, revenue generating assets? And I go, what I would do if I were your age, oh my gosh, sorry, situations on the table. What I would do your age, I would go hound some businesses that are in prime locations and sell them on a helium hotspot. A $200-$300 investment, you drop that thing down. Now all of a sudden you have this asset that's going to generate revenue for the next 5, 10, 15 years, maybe. That's incredible. You do that 15 times, man, you pay for your college.
Yeah.
You pay for your first house.
The model reminds me a lot of vending machines.
Yep.
You know, like you can buy vending machines, and then if you have somewhere to put them, and depending on how high traffic those areas are, you can generate a lot of semi-passive income from that. Just maintain.
Oh
make
my
sure
God.
it's
My
still running.
gosh.
Oh my goodness. $114.25.
Listen, this is the battle of the
do it, do
podcast
it.
right now. Unleashing DPIN versus DPIN Daily. Oh man, yeah, you have to do it to him. Oh, he's all in. He's going.
Man,
Call me.
he's-
Someone call me right now, please.
Someone
We
call
gotta
you?
switch
You want?
all in.
Yeah.
You want? All right,
You won't.
all right,
You
all
won't.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
right. We'll see what
Hey,
happens.
I just gave you a sub, by the way, Icy. I might take it away.
I know. I love you so much. Thank you. Oh
Oh,
my
he's
goodness.
got 2 customers. All right, I'm gonna let them do their thing.
Do I? Okay. I'm
I'm just
Think
gonna let this
about-
go all the way.
ISO.
ISO.
Not a lot on the table. Uh-oh.
No.
Icy's
This is
giving
either
Isle
gonna go
some
well
insurance
or
right
poorly. Oh no! What
Let's
happened?
go,
He's
come
got pocket sixes. I got 3 4s.
No, you.
Oh my goodness.
I see. You can buy a helium hotspot.
Let's
We'll
go.
be
Yeah.
able to at this rate.
Let's go.
Damn.
All
How-
right.
okay, I just
Incredible.
gotta laugh because Will's the actual like poker player out of the group, at least from my understanding. And
I've been
I
drinking.
just, yeah, that's what it is.
You've been drinking? When do you
Yeah,
not
I'm
drink and
also
play
talking.
poker?
I'm also talking a lot, and I don't usually talk this much when I play poker.
It's all good.
That is the actual problem, yeah.
Isle, I'm gonna
Yeah, I
get you
feel like
back in
this,
here.
like,
Give me
this,
a
like,
minute, but
3D setting.
You're good.
This 3D setting is pretty fun to kind of look around because Will, right
Yeah.
now you look so sad.
oh no,
I am sad.
sad Pepe.
Pepe is, yeah. Shout out
That's
Pepe.
right.
I just got 50 cents.
Yeah,
All
you
right.
did. Carnavisa, thank you for the sub. Isle, thank you for the sub. Isle, if you can send me your email or something like that, I think I can hook it up.
Uh-oh.
Got you
He's
here.
gonna
Oh, I gotta do the thing before I do.
Didn't he just tell you how much money
I
he's making
can
in
just
deep
fund
in?
the
He's got to
account, I
make
don't
his own
mind.
buy-in now.
Hey, seriously.
I don't mind. I can do it.
Dang. Yeah, you got to do the KYC thing.
Uh-oh.
Oh, and I folded a really good hand, but that's okay.
I think I
Just
can
push
take
it.
this
You can
one.
sit out for a second if you need to. Anyway,
I cannot take this one. I was just kidding.
I might have to sell some of my demo tokens, guys.
Ooh.
oh
Very
no,
nice.
no, that's not good.
Nice takedown.
Dude, I had Suburban Crypto, shout out Suburban Crypto, hook me up on a demo device. I literally have one. He sent me one for my wife's car. Like I have one of the macaroons, which is like the IoT one, but he sent me a one of the cellular ones that runs on the Helium network. So that's pretty cool. Which is cool because yeah, he buys the device, sends it to you, and then like splits the rewards 50-50. Like it's pretty cool. I was like, well, I don't want to shell out like $300. So
That's great.
I'm currently purchasing USDT right now.
The good news
Pepe's
is it's
out.
pretty quick. I forgot. So one of the things is you can send funds to people back and forth on the site, which is really nice. But I have not set up the KYC yet. So I got to do that to be able to do that. Oh, I did want to ask you guys, what room did you guys pick that you're playing in? I'm in the Phuket Islands, but I'm curious what you guys picked.
Yeah, I did the Phuket Islands as well. On your recommendation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in Vegas, so I'm rocking Venetian.
Nice.
Are you a Vegas local?
I am.
That's awesome, dude.
Are you warming up right now to go to the actual casino later?
My man's a
I,
shark.
I dabble in poker live, but not too much. Nothing you might see on like YouTube or anything like that. Mostly, I just like to have fun playing poker in situations like this. You know, a bunch of friends get together and just like bang around playing poker. Like playing poker live in Vegas, it's not what it looks like on the brochure. Like there's a
100%.
lot of just being bored and everybody else is on their phone, and like you kind of just want to socialize, but it's really hard to do that in Vegas a lot. There was a poker room in Planet Hollywood that was amazing. It was so social. It was right in the middle of the casino. They had like go-go dancers dancing in the poker room. They had a live DJ in the poker room, and it shut down during coronavirus. So RIP, my favorite poker room.
RIP to this hand. I got a
taken
fold.
by-
Nice hand.
Oh,
Never trust a
go.
man
Always
in a
back
trench
in.
suit.
And a mustache. Don't forget the mustache.
Yeah. Shout out to Crypto
mustache
Stash.
it sus.
It's the crypto stash. That's right.
Jay, I should have known that you would have been into D-Pin, man. You're a super sharp dude, and you're super active and involved in so many spaces. But I'm curious, man. Yeah, like, can you tell me more about what you see as like some similarities in gaming and D-Pin? Maybe like from your interest level, but then also like maybe some of the differences that you're like, you know, these, I don't know, kind of stand out or separate the two from your perspective.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, gotta name drop Genopets. Genopets is
Shout out Jay.
like a companion game, and that's they're within our ecosystem.
Yeah.
And seeing like it. Okay, I guess I got to zoom out even more than this, Icy, because when you've been in crypto for a certain number of years, like I've been in crypto since 2017, so I literally saw use cases like rising from nothing, like just from ideas and papers, and then these sub ecosystems forming within the overall crypto ecosystem. So, you know, oh my gosh, I'm playing poker at the same time. Okay, fold. So, you know, seeing altcoins rising next to Bitcoin, you know, 2016, 2017, then seeing DeFi rising with all of the issues that were happening, like Coinbase broke in 2017. I don't know how many people remember that, but it's like you could not even open the app. There's so many people trying to get in there to do trades and stuff like that.
Right.
And then I think there was the first decentralized exchange was like Ether.
Oh
Ether
yeah,
Delta?
yeah.
No.
ETHLend, was it ETHLend?
Yes.
Isn't that
yeah.
Aave now? But it's like the ICO
I
was
think
ETHLend.
so. Yeah, and that kind of kicked off like a decentralized exchange wave, and then I saw NFTs go from like CryptoKitties, what is that, to everything
Right.
going on in Solana, and then Web3 gaming coming up. I actually produced a video essay about how Web3 gaming will be the next thing before the Axie pump, and I emailed that video to like 10,000 people in the Web3 space that were just talking about altcoins and they didn't know what to talk about next. And I was like, this is what's coming next, y'all. So, you know, now seeing D-Pin, I really appreciate D-Pin existing in the crypto space and the Web3 ecosystem because it shows how crypto can be real. It can be attached to the real world. You can have a friend that has a device that does cool crypto stuff. You don't need a lot of technical acuity to get into it. And it made conversations in places like elevators and at the Thanksgiving table a lot smoother than beforehand. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, those Thanksgiving table dinner conversations are rough,
like,
man.
You did not want to come to my Thanksgiving in like 2018, dude.
Yeah,
it was
dude.
rough, man.
That was
it was rough. Like
You told me to buy what?
I honestly think my parents still don't know what I do.
Oh yeah, no, same. My
Nice.
mom's like, I have no idea what you do. Like,
Can I swap my ETH in the app? Because I deposited ETH in the app instead of USDT. So
Yeah, don't get me started on Ethereum.
don't think so.
great.
Okay,
Here's another hot tip.
double check.
What are your thoughts on Ethereum, Brian?
It's
We got-
coming, but I don't know if it's
okay.
live yet.
Who was it?
That's fine. I'll withdraw and then I'll swap and deposit.
Action was on a space, and he was talking about Ethereum, and
shout
it
out
was
Action CEO.
Action, yeah, Action CEO, yeah.
Oh man, I love him. He's been to one of my poker nights.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah.
He's on a space, and we're talking with somebody who they have the ability to like analyze your wallet and see like value and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, he analyzed one of his wallets, and it was worth like $900, but he had spent $3,000 in gas fees.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
$3,000 in Ethereum gas fees, and I feel that I literally have USDC like sitting on a wallet right now because I have to transfer in Ethereum to pay for it to get removed. It's like removed off the mainnet, and I don't know how much it's going to cost to remove that. It drives me insane.
Yeah.
Like, why use it? Like, so anyway,
I had after a couple old fashions one night, I had a tweet thread that I was sharing a suggestion around a gas holiday that would be a net positive for the network, where everybody could essentially give a short window of time where you could move money out of those wallets where you're essentially underwater because it costs more to move it than it is to the value to move, and like
Hostage
I think it would be a net
tokens.
positive for the space, but no one else seemed to give me much credence to that idea or share any report on it. But what can you do?
well, you go complain on crypto Twitter, and they're like, "Oh, well, just do this," and you're like, "That's insane. No way that's going to work." They're like just always operate on level 2 or L2, excuse me, and like or layer 2. They're like, well, like what's the point of having an L1 if you can't use it? So anyway,
Yeah, it's almost like the L1s are starting to act like the backed by, so you can have a high performance L2 that's quote unquote backed by the security of an L1, which I think kind of has been working out pretty well.
Oh, I'm so sorry,
far.
Veronica. I'm so sorry.
Oh, Veronica.
I'm coming back,
Aces
guys.
Cracked.
Oh, I'm so
Bag
sorry.
Dot Win should sponsor an Aces Cracked bonus. I'm gonna
Hey,
throw it out
What?
there right now.
well, he's in multiple 3 figures, guys. We got to watch out for him.
Oh yeah, look at that. Icy stacking, never lacking.
Can
I
I use
don't-
USDB and like directly on the table?
Oh, you're
Alright.
killing me. I'm so no. Did you deposit USDB?
No, I deposited to ETH, which I'm withdrawing currently, but I switched to Blast and I realized I just had some ETH left on Blast, so I
Got
swapped
it.
it to USDB, and now it's saying that I can drop off my USDB into the
No,
platform.
so we set the table as USDT, so you can, yeah, it's only USDT in that. I can send you some USDT if you want. The Polygon transfers are like pretty quick if you're interested.
Yeah, I mean we can do that. I'll just pay you back.
All right, let me go do that.
Well, that brings up a deeper topic of
Yeah.
of why are certain cryptos focusing on like Solana or Peak Network is coming, and I think the simple answer, and some people can probably expand on this, is that a lot of DeepIn requires a lot of transactions at every single day. Like Helium, you get rewards every single day since your wallet.
Yeah.
And you have to claim those wallets, claim it, and you can't do that necessarily on like Ethereum if you don't know the transaction fees. You'd spend more in transaction fees than the actual rewards.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I think Veronica's probably got some solid takes on this because they're building a interesting L2 that kind of combines the Ethereum and Solana world for DeepIn projects. Because I can
Yeah.
distract her so she'll fold all her money to me.
But what's
Yeah,
interesting
I-
actually is if you look at GPU and CPU, it's more popular on Ethereum than Solana or Peak or anything like that. So Ethereum does have a lot of DeepIns.
Well, I mean,
Sorry.
I think the idea is also like Ethereum's been around a little bit longer, so people had started experimenting on ETH initially, right? And that's why we're seeing a lot of DeepIn projects slowly move to different chains, right? Because at the end of the day, blockchains aren't necessarily one size fits all, especially with something like DeepIn that requires something with high throughput, right? I think people are moving to Solana, people are moving to layer 2s, right? Where fees are cheaper, transactions are faster, right? So definitely seeing that more and more nowadays.
Yeah, so I was gonna ask actually, like, where is a lot of the DPIN stuff happening? Is it mostly on Solana? Is that the leading network for DPIN? Is it stretched across? There's ETH DPIN projects, there's AVAX DPIN projects, there's Cardano ones, things like Arbitrum. Like, where is a lot of this stuff happening?
I think
I'd say it's pretty spread out.
It is.
F.
Okay.
I think
I
you're
think
seeing
go
a
ahead.
large congregation around Solana, but it is still spread out. It's not like one chain has ruled them all yet.
Darkness, blind them.
Okay. Is there a network that kind of is like built a little bit more for it? Like in gaming, like, a lot of gaming chains are kind of popping up, or AVAX is one of the leading ones because of their like subnets, even though like Ronin does a really good job. And, now we have like Zai and Arbitrum kind of like leading the way. Of course, Immutable's building stuff, but their tech's like not the best at this standpoint. But like, yeah, is there anything that like are there properties of a blockchain that lend themselves to DPIN, or DPIN's kind of like chain and tech agnostic, like where it doesn't really matter? But I guess if you are like doing a bunch of transactions and claiming stuff or sending stuff around, it does need to be fast and cheap.
Yeah, I think Brian hit the nail on the head. Like, as you're doing a lot of transactions, whether it's sort of, machine to user or machine to machine, whatever. So it's, high throughput, low cost, lots of bandwidth, I think are some of the core tenets for the blockchain that underpins these various projects. There are certainly some kind of L1, or I don't know. I can never know the nomenclature anymore. If it's like an L0, L1, they seem to use them somewhat interchangeably. But there's some projects that are specifically trying to tackle like being the blockchain layer for various DPINs. Peak is certainly one of those. IoTex is another one. And so while they're providing ancillary services over and above just the actual underlying protocol or sort of underlying network, they're trying to capture that kind of value stack, if you will. And so but I think at the end of the day, what Brian said is right. You want fast transactions, you want cheap transactions, because when you're doing so many claiming, if you set up a helium mine and you're claiming your rewards every day, and the rewards are a couple dollars, or maybe even $5 or $6 depending on how much traffic you're pushing through, you don't want to be paying equivalent amounts in gas fees, because it sort of removes any of the value that would otherwise accrue back to the user. So that's kind of my take on it.
Hey, I think what we're seeing with like Peak is they're seeing a purpose
that, yeah,
like kind of like a purpose built L1, even though it's kind of building on Polygon. And we're seeing a purpose-built L1 basically, which just provides tools for DPINs to use. It's fast, it's got cheap transactions, but it provides resources and like kind of like drag and drop parts that allows DPINs to come in and just build rapidly. And I think there's a place for that, 100%. But yeah, I think it's needed. So.
Also, it seems that having convenient on and off ramps is probably also pretty important for DPIN, because depending on where the geographic distribution is of devices, you'll want to make sure that they can, transact, they can trade, they can cash out if they want to, those different tokens. So like, for example, if there's a DPIN infrastructure network that is really popular in the Philippines, then you'd want to make sure that you can trade and offload tokens directly using coins.ph, which is the Philippines' most popular centralized exchange, and same thing for US. Like, I mean, is Helium on Coinbase? I think it is. HNT?
Yeah, HNT is on Coinbase, but not mobile.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So HNT is on Coinbase, which is like super helpful for typical people who are getting into DPIN and they have a cool location and they want to have a device and they want to feel secure in knowing that they can move the value around, as needed and on and off.
Man, this is so cool. Thank you guys so much for humoring so many of my questions.
Thanks.
Maybe it's like, DPIN for dummies right now. And you're probably used to like a lot more, maybe technical or interesting or nuanced conversations. But as someone who has only kind of seen a lot of Isles content, and like, tangentially kind of pay attention to Helium, because I think it's pretty cool, but like really didn't know much about a lot of the DPIN space. Like, this has been really
Likewise.
awesome to have this conversation with you guys. So really appreciate it. Shout out to Cairo in the chat. The stash arbitrage everywhere, bros everywhere. Appreciate you, Cairo. If you guys don't know, Cairo is one of the top gamers we have in the space. He's incredibly cracked at first-person shooters and shooters in general. And he's been kind of having his moment with Off the Grid. If you guys have seen that game, it's definitely the game of the moment. It's kind of been breaking out. We've had some of the top gamers in the world, like Ninja.
What happened there? Hold on. Everybody just like folded?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Gave you the money. But yeah, he's been playing that game. Tim the Tapman actually like was just reacting to like having Cairo in his game, which is like, as a fanboy, just so cool.
That's awesome.
That's
That
pretty
is
cool.
awesome. Congrats.
I
Keep
do
your
have
mouth
anything?
shut.
I do have something. Yeah, I do. Oh,
I'm
I got something.
coming, boys. I'm coming. Just going through a bunch of different wallet addresses and all this BS. So.
All right, so let's open the Pandora's box. All right, because I don't know why.
Oh,
I'm
let's
just
go.
gonna
Let's
ask
go.
All
Yeah,
all the
open it.
tough questions are gonna come from me.
go.
What are the problems with DPIN right now?
Yeah. I don't have
Crickets.
any infrastructure.
Crickets.
That's one of the problems.
Well, I'll say, I mean, so there was, I see you talked about this a little bit earlier, which was, what are contentions or kind of hot topics within the space. One of the things that blew up a few weeks ago is, like what is actually considered a deep in, what's just sort of leveraging the term for marketing purposes.
Yeah.
I'd actually, ironically or unironically, started writing an article about this that I didn't end up publishing because it happened right around the time where everybody was going kind of nuts over this conversation. But I think there's like one of the things, I called out like, Kudos Ring for tracking my heart rate data a little earlier, but I think that there's definitely kind of a conversation to be had around, you look at a project like Silencio, for example, where in one of the things that makes it interesting and like why it might be a DPIN or like a DVIN or whatever is that you've got the network effect is a requirement for it to succeed versus just pay to earn or sort of use to earn crypto. And I think that there's a stark difference between just crypto incentivized activities and sort of products versus what is actually a network. And so how that I don't know if that fully is something that, oh god, I gotta think here for a sec. What do I want to do?
Monica's out for blood.
Yeah, she is.
I'm not.
Man,
I'm
big
not.
raise.
$35 pot. Veronica's got $10 in her stack. Unleashing DPIN's got $76. What's gonna happen on the
It's
river?
a bagged out win moment.
I'm thinking I have to make money.
quick,
for
quick,
dinner.
quick.
2-1-0. Oh, all in. She's all in.
Oh Jesus, am I the only one left? Shit.
No, you and Veronica, we're good. Yeah, it's heads up. It's head to head.
Yeah,
Excuse
it's
me.
heads up.
I'm gonna lose. I
9-7.
just gave it to her because
Veronica's gonna win.
I had nothing.
Veronica
She's got him
took it.
out-kicked with
I
Man.
threw
I'm
it away.
still
The
here.
full house.
Threw it away.
the king
that full house?
9.
No, I think I had 2 pairs.
Nicely
I
done.
can't multitask well enough.
Oh, we have
I'm like,
Isles back. Isla
I
William, whatever his name is.
A wild Pepe appears.
I've come back for blood. I see already took like my stack. That's hilarious. Oh my god.
I think
Does
Veronica had to
anybody
play
else
the
have a
game
hot
as well.
take on problems of DPIN?
Yeah, what are some of the problems, man? I need to know.
I just think like in my mind, like the reason I even started like creating content was
Yeah.
it's too overcomplicated like
Yeah.
for people. Like just like with like most of Web3, when you mention the words blockchain, DeepIn, anything like that, like even RWA, something like that, it's just people start rolling their eyes, And our thing is like we're trying to get the quote unquote mass adoption here. We're trying to get the general audiences in, and you don't get them in by explaining what DeepIn, like what the acronym means. You get them in by saying, hey, you buy this device, you make money, or hey,
Right.
download this app, you make money.
And I will say that, in terms of user experience, I think DeepIn projects have done a really good job of hiding that from the users, like compared to
Yes.
other app
I flopped
experiences
it.
that I've had
I
within
flopped
crypto.
You had Ace, and
Yeah.
you slow.
I did.
Whoa.
Just give him a little bit of rope. A little bit of rope.
I had pocket 9s, to be honest.
Nice hand.
So I think that's going to be important for continued mass adoption.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like I think mass adoption is what everybody's going for, and I think a lot of the reality is if it provides a solid alternative, people will adopt it, right? Like you look at Natix and its navigation, instead of using Google Maps or iMaps, whatever you want to use or whatever it is, you can use that, and it's a valid alternative, and you earn rewards. That's awesome, right?
Yeah.
But then the question is, and I think there's a big problem, is where's the revenue? And while, the annual recurring revenue of the entire sector right now is like 11.5 million, the reality is that's not a lot.
Yeah.
So how do we go out and we capture that revenue? And I think a lot of great CEOs, wow, great hand, by the way. A lot of great CEOs entered the space a few years ago. And I'd even say 5.5, 6 years ago, because I'm talking about a specific project here. And they came into the space knowing that it's going to take 5 years to really get to the point where they can capture revenue. And I think we're there now. And I'd say like Conduit Network is a shout out to Conduit Network. It's here. They have $250 million in business ready to come onto their network, signed, inked deals. And there are going to be more announcements here in the next few months. So I'd shout out to Conduit Network. Check that out. And because of this lack of revenue, sorry to go off on my tangent.
No, please.
Because of this lack of revenue, a DPIN meme coin has popped up. And they have amazing tokenomics. It's called Entropy. If you go look at it, it's pretty cool. And they have a network of 400 actual DPIN miners that are running an actual network that mines meme coins that have no use, and they're just memeing off the whole space. And one of the big things that they pointed out to me when I was looking at their tokenomics is that pretty much everything is considered a meme coin until it proves otherwise.
Right.
And I think I think DPIN and crypto as a whole is the same way. It's all speculative. Yeah. And DPIN has the opportunity to bring real world revenue and actually show the world that we have a use in crypto. Web3 has a use.
I'm right there with you on the same exact wavelength.
Can you explain how?
Brian, just for those listening, can you explain how the onboarding for Entropy works? Because I think it's also part of the meme lore, which is pretty awesome.
The onboarding for Entropy is really interesting. So there are rules. You have to join the Discord first off. And then right now you have to, wow, 875 raise, is you have to dig a hole, put your write on a piece of paper your Discord name, put it in the bottom of that hole, and then post it on Twitter, and tag 3 people, and of course Entropy.
Ooh, Ace Queen versus Ace Queen, chopping it up.
Wow,
huge all in.
Same these cards.
Everybody loves a chop
Veronica.
Anyway, the amount of people that have dug holes is staggering. And it's amazing. So, and I'm just going to flip it, like a $16 miner in ESP32 S3 costs like $15 at most. I have one sitting on my desk right now that's worth $5,000 in mine meme coin. It's phenomenal. And their tokenomics and their whole thing is a spin off of the law of entropy, the second law of thermodynamics, and there's rules and how you can withdraw those tokens and all that. It's just a really cool project. So if you haven't gone and taken a look at it, go look at it's just entropy lol at just entropy lol, and go look at it. It's really cool. Give them a follow. It's an awesome project. Their memes are killer. The vibe, the Twitter, the Discord page is awesome, and the team is really thoughtful.
They're mining nothing, right?
And they're mining, well, yeah, they mine literally like, what is it, like 64 bits of randomness, and they have, and they protect that network at all costs. It is legitimately like, you cannot do anything. If you lie and have a multiple Discord, they see you have 2 IP addresses on credentials, they will call you out and they'll ban you, and they'll publicly shame you. You have a shame wall on their Discord. It's just a really cool, fun project. Nice. And that's what I'd say. It's a fun project. It's awesome. The vibes are cool. It's fun. And if you get a credential, awesome. If not, go buy some Entropy. We're under $1 million market cap, right at, and it's just a really cool project.
I think your point it touches on a kind of a broader conversation within DPIN, which is there's sort of I mean, obviously, like in traditional Web 2 businesses, you've got like B2B and B2C. And so one of the things that is, I think, challenging for people to analyze as part of their, like, do I want to contribute to this, is that, the model where you're building like a decentralized, call it like a wireless network where you're, you're accessing the network and you're sort of using it. It's a really clear value proposition. But for one where you're reliant on creating value that the company has to then go out and sell, like whether they're aggregating data, there's like this counterparty risk that becomes somewhat different. Like how big is the market? How long are those sales cycles? How easy is it for them to actually start, gaining traction, success that creates enough, sort of demand side pressure to make the network model work. And so
Wow.
I think
hand.
Yep. Nice
Thank
hand.
you. Thank
Rivered
you.
it, bro.
Sniped it. He
Rivered it.
sniped it.
You love, I gotta gamble my way back to the top. Here we go. But I do think like you talk about projects like Conduit, like having a book of business that's like lined up and set is a huge vote of confidence. Otherwise, there's so many projects where it's all theoretical. Like, yeah, the market, the TAM is this large, and we can go out and we can sell to XYZ company, and it's hypothetical, but how much of that's going to actually be realized and turning into making kind of a flywheel that works for people that are deploying hardware or buying tokens, et cetera, et cetera. So I think it'll be interesting to see how that continues to fold out over time.
Well, yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. I was going to say the value proposition, right?
Right.
Like the value proposition on Conduit is not Web3, right? The value proposition on Conduit is Web2. So it's not after Web3 business. It's after a Web2 business. They'll bring them on, which is like Web 2.5, 3, or 3.5, depending on how you look at it. They'll bring them on and then give them access to tools which will help them develop their business. Such as distributed ledger technology, temporal ledgers, all sorts of fun stuff. And they don't have to use it. But the bottom line is they can come on, reduce their costs. And guess what? If they have on-prem, which by the way, 83% of businesses right now are looking at going back to on-prem because they don't know what they're going to get billed by AWS at any one time. And so anyway, they can take that, they can load up the nodes and basically turn their cost center into a potential profit center, or at the very least earn rewards for their excess compute, excess storage. And I have to bet here, hold on one second. And guess what? They end up reducing their overall costs. So that is the value proposition. You don't have to be a Web3 business. Web2 is where the money is at right now. We're chasing after crypto, which is like what? Oh, $43 hand. Great. We're chasing after Web3, which is only a couple $1 couple $1 trillion, excuse me. And then you look at the entire economy and you're looking at tens of trillions of dollars. Yeah. So it's a really cool value proposition, which is why I'm all in. Like, I just bought a server. It says 256 gigs of RAM. Like, I'm in. So sorry.
And not only that, but big Web2 business entities are answering the doorbell when DPIN rings the doorbell. Like that's not necessarily the case in the earlier years of blockchain. It was, as you mentioned, like way more theoretical, way more just ideas. And, the incumbent players in the Web2 space don't really react to external ideas very quickly, if at all. And it's very cool to see that with DPIN, and sharing network bandwidth, like stuff that these different networks are doing to actually bring a tangible service to the Web2 space. That is very, very cool to see. And I should not have folded.
Man,
that tells me everything I need to know.
This is, again, really, really cool. Like I definitely need to follow all your podcasts and like tune in and start educating myself. Jay, we're both in gaming, so maybe you can also be one of my conduits. See what I did there? Into DPIN along with Isle. But I'm curious, like, how did you guys all meet each other? Like, because you guys are great. Like, do you guys do a show together, like a 4-person panel, or if not, maybe you guys should? How did you guys? Was it just from being in like the DPIN space, or like how did Isle end up like connecting with everybody here?
Isle,
you guys can tell them. Don't be scared.
I tried to hold me hostage for some crypto money that we won't get into. In truth, it's my first time meeting Veronica tonight. So Veronica, pleasure to meet
100%. Yeah.
But Brian and Tyler, I've known for a bit of time here, just naturally, just through DPINs, like through the content we've created, and just like kind of linking up through different DPIN spaces.
Well, there's unity in deep in.
Yeah.
Like I don't think there's that in a lot of crypto spaces. It's competition. Ethereum, Solana, they're at odds, right? Cardano, they're not all at odds. In deep in, we see Geo chipping in to help all these projects and making sure they're not getting spoofed and they're secure and all this stuff.
Yeah.
It's, we're all there to help each other out in this space. If you have a technical question on a setup on Geode, you ask it, you get an answer.
Yeah.
And when I came on to crypto Twitter and really started, advertising myself, William and these guys, they brought me into the fold. They realized I'm here and I have stuff to say, and they validified me. And I really do appreciate you guys for all that. We've done some spaces together. So
we definitely done some spaces. They've been awesome. We got to do more of them. But shout out Brian. Like I was talking to Nick, who I do the podcast with, the other day, and it starts off with all excited about what's happening and all the growth and traction and everything, and then all of a sudden you realize, holy moly, we've got all this work that we're doing between like recording and scheduling and blah blah blah, building all these tools. And then you kind of lose touch with being able to continually do research. And Brian has been like the greatest source of informational content. So I have him like favorited because every time he tweets something, it's like stuff you want to know and you want to hear about. And so
awesome.
Shout out to Brian, because I think that you're probably, if not the best, Twitter education content person out there. You're definitely in the top 3. So make sure you keep following him, because I selfishly get to use everything that you share with.
Dude, I feel bad for you because I tweet a lot.
You do, bro. I don't know how you do.
It's appreciated.
I tweet a lot. It's pretty bad.
Much.
Like, so
That's
I'm
you
like,
gotta
what?
do, man? That's what you gotta do. I respect the hustle, man. I love that.
I'm only like 130, 140 days in. I have 6,200 tweets.
Guy.
I am madly committed, but that's for my marketing background. So whatever.
Where do you like? What's kind of the strategy or approach? Like, are you just checking the sites? You got a news feed coming in, looking for alpha, and then like you're kind of repurposing it, reposting it, getting it out there for the deep in audience. Like, what's the driver behind it? I'm curious.
Systematic approaches to everything, honestly. Like, if you have a great project and I follow you on Discord and you make an announcement, I know you made an announcement. It's not because I follow it, because I just go whenever I check it.
Yeah.
I have 100 pages open constantly on my phone, and I'm checking it that way. And I just know like the Twitter algorithm is going to require me to post like 30 times a day.
Yeah.
But at the same time, here's the deal. There are a lot of great projects out there, and there's several bad projects.
Yeah.
Right. And my goal is to not lead people astray.
Yeah.
And I'm deep in crypto for a reason, because I do cover some of crypto, right? Because there is a tie there somewhere. And I just want to make sure people have information. And also I want to be your hype man, right? If you got a project out there and you're awesome, I want to be your hype man. I want to be shouting out what you're doing from the rooftops, and to be supporting you and to be encouraging you, because sometimes, you need that guy behind you just to drive bets. Oh my gosh. Hold on.
We got
all right, we'll check that.
We got a hand brew. I love that, Brian. I'm kind of similar in that approach as well. I try to hype up a lot of projects. I try and cover a lot of projects. I have a daily video where it's like today in crypto gaming, and it's like a 2-minute rundown of like, 7, 8, 9 news stories that I'll try and help educate and help keep the space informed. Isle coming on camera. Look at that handsome guy. You're looking good, man.
I figured I'd show my beautiful face.
Wow, look at that.
Are we doing it?
I did get a fresh cut.
I would turn on my
ring
virtual camera, but then you'll see my cards. Oh, hold on.
And then we'll see your poker face. We'll see you bluffing.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Bubba's.
This.
What's up, guys?
Oh, Tyler accidentally left.
Oh no. Well, I think maybe it's child game.
I can see your hand kind of too, I think.
Yeah. I gotta not do that. This is cool, man. I want to bring Veronica back into the conversation. I guess like I've gotten a lot of good takes from the group here. Veronica, is there someone that you follow or you get a lot of your news from, or any of the maybe builders in the space that you want to like shout out and bring light to?
Honestly, on the Deepin side of things, it's mostly Tyler and Nick through the Unleashing Deepin
Oh, let's
podcast.
go.
Yeah, that's actually how I got to this poker game. Tyler invited me, so it's really great meeting a lot of you guys. But yeah. Oh
You too,
no,
Veronica.
I like missed my hand.
Veronica's a baller in this space, by the way. If you're not following her, definitely her BD skills are off the charts. She's like every time I talk to her, she makes me feel really dumb. And all the things that they're doing at Eclipse, because she's at a really, not to speak for you obviously, but I feel like you're at a super interesting
I'll pay you,
intersection
Veronica.
between Deepin.
I'll pay you. I'll pay you. I'll pay you. Nice
Like
take
Deepin
down.
and then the
And she did
crypto
it while
side
she
of
was
it,
in the
you know?
podcast.
She's doing it. She's doing it.
I'm
Veronica throws
also-
a third of her stack in pre-flop, and Ike's like, Veronica, I wanted you to talk more about everything that's not poker.
That's
And,
Icy's
please
strategy.
go
He
into a
puts you
lot
on
of
the
detail
spot.
The
about
worst timing.
everything
the
Dude,
worst
you
that's
put
going
everyone
on.
on the spot, Icy. It's
The
terrible,
worst
dude. Like,
timing. All right, I'm gonna stop asking
Strategy.
questions. We're just gonna hang
Strategy.
out. from
when
here
I'm
on
all
out.
in, you're
I
like, hey,
didn't say
so
that.
Kyle, you want to
Wait, I
explain
didn't say
Deepins
that.
for us again? Like, I'm just like all in. You're just like, how about you talk about your content strategy?
Oh, the
I'm just
absolute
saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Before you ask the question, see if a third of their stack is in pre-flop, and then assess. That's all I'm saying.
This is
Oh,
a
I
really
have been. I
smart
have been.
strategy.
You know. Wait, I've been
This
picking
you're
is the
myself.
fine.
hot
I'm
seat,
just
dude. This is
joshing
the
you. I'm
hot
just
seat.
joshing.
Oh, man.
Oh my goodness.
That's so funny. All right, everyone take
Props
a shot
to
of whatever
Veronica's
you're
first
drinking.
poker
We'll
session.
loosen up. We've done enough work, enough
Yeah.
talking shop.
Dude, I'm on my third drink.
Let's go.
Oh God,
That's not a wine glass, Tyler. That's what is that? What is that cup? Just like a random plastic cup?
these are my wife's bougie Crate and Barrel, very thin. Yeah, it's not a wine
See,
cup.
that-
but she's like,
That's
"These are
why you're
cool
in
and
deep in, because
trendy."
you got to afford Crate and Barrel, no?
Stuffed all of his money into deployers. He doesn't have enough money for wine glasses.
I'm poor. I can't afford my wine glasses because I spent all my money on helium miners.
I mean, that's what it is, right? Like, bank account is like $100. Crypto wallets like maybe more,
Well, it's fun. What's
Maybe
funny
less.
is
maybe less.
my I told my wife, I was like, just be warned, I'm about to walk home with, walk home with a server today, and then tomorrow I'm going to walk home with a very large
I had
PC.
it. I was hoping you would.
And it's funny is it's becoming normal for her to understand that I'm reinvesting money back into infrastructure. And that's a lot of what this is about, is don't be content with what you currently have. Like, let's go for more. And if the project's doing well, like, why not reinvest?
Yeah.
Unlike crypto, what are you going to do? You're going to bet the market, and you're going to like bet on pulling out money and reinvesting later on whenever the market is low. Like you're trying to time a market, which is impossible to time. So
yeah. And I don't know about you guys, but like I'm a terrible trader. Like
me too.
I don't know, like my ability to trade crypto, like I make money and then I sell it and I was like, oh, I should buy back in because it would have been great. And then I lose everything that I made, and it's just this vicious perpetual cycle. But the difference with Deepin is that you're actually able to buy hardware that throws off money if you install them correctly, regardless of any other variables. And so that to me feels safe. It feels kind of smart. It feels like you're investing. You are investing and you're building something that's, also great at the same time. And so that is such a win-win for me in terms of why this Deepin thing is a lot more interesting than just straight up purchasing crypto. Don't get me wrong, we still buy meme coins and do all that crap too, but it's hard for me to have any sense of this is creating true value. And
hey,
actually
One? How did I win?
you were very, very, very confident when you said if you install it correctly. Do you have a horror story on that?
I've set up units where they're just like, I set up one of my accent units. I set up at a gym, and it was the location from where I got to install it was covering like half of what was essentially a I don't know, like a yoga style room. And so that the accent units are pure. There's like no POC, so it's 100% earnings based off of data transfer. And so it's like, we're talking like 6 to 7 gigs every 2 weeks, every epoch. And so that's not really all that exciting. But yeah, like with other projects where you earn kind of the baseline POCs, it's just, pay to play by having it set up and quote unquote providing value within the network. But for the ones that actually earn based off of consumption and usage, like at least the accents do, it's a little bit different. So
Tyler,
Yeah,
Can I just ask real quick, how does that work? Because you mentioned that before, like setting it up at a gym or whatnot. Like, what does that mean? Like, is it like Isle's vending machine example? Like, is this a gym that you like are partnered with, or is this like just a random gym, you know, in your area that you're like, hey, let me set up this machine, and you do it? Like, what does that mean? What does this look like?
So in our case, when we go to do deployments, it kind of varies. There's a few different approaches that we'll take. One approach will either be, you know, we'll split the earnings with you. The other approach will be that we'll, you know, give you a split of the earnings. And so effectively, you know, we go in, we kind of talk through the business model, which is, you know, for a project like Helium or XNet, which is, you know, if you're a customer of T-Mobile or AT&T or these different projects, you're going to show up. And you're automatically going to be able to connect, have better coverage, et cetera, et cetera. And then we earn money off of the traffic that gets passed through that automatic coverage process. And then, you know, kind of the split happens as a result from there. And so it varies from project to project, or from, you know, building to building, I should say. But,
and
but,
what is the
you know,
traffic?
we'll
Like, you're
either do
just
a split.
connecting to their network, and like what is it? Is it people
Your
joining their
cellular data.
Wi-Fi? People like.
Yeah, so maybe we should have been paying more attention here, but the with the carrier grade
I'm sorry, you're in a
offload
big hand.
no, you're all right.
I'm the worst,
I
dude.
can take it off your hands,
Why
Tyler, if you
not?
want.
Yeah, no, I know. I'll just have to buy back in and be like,
No, you're
oh,
good,
you're gonna
good.
take all my money
so,
for it.
So Tyler, you focus. I'll take it away from you. I know you're about to say. So basically, Icy, it depends on what DPIN you're like, what device you have there. So like some do Wi-Fi distribution, some do cellular data coverage. But the gist of it is like, if I go to a place like a dormitory or like a gym, and I say, hey, like, I have this device that all I need is your building and your internet. I need to connect to your internet, and essentially I'll maintain this device for both of us. I'll give you a split of the revenues that it generates, but essentially this device is like giving enhanced cellular coverage to everyone that comes to this gym. So if they have like their cell phone data, and like, you know, there's like running on the treadmill, they'll have faster cell phone data, and it's because it's going to automatically latch on to my hotspot, and I'm going to generate revenue from that. And so what I do, because I'm using this guy's gym, I say, hey, like, you provide the building, you provide the internet, there's no risks to you. I'm taking all the risk. I bought the device, I'm maintaining the device, so I'll take 80% or 70% of the revenue, I'll give you 30%, and I'll pay you out monthly or something.
Yeah.
And that's usually how the conversation goes. I personally am talking to a couple of people about, like, you know, possibly installing in their houses and whatnot, like in my neighborhood. And I haven't mentioned crypto once.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, hey, like, I'll just pay you money and like install this in your house.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
best part of it.
Let's do this.
I don't have an all-in hand. I have like a $10 hand.
This is a bag.win moment.
No,
Hey, I think you should all in. Personally,
you're too confident. If it's a bluff, it's a great bluff. You can show it.
Oh, look at that.
Oh,
Trip
nice,
aces.
nice,
Trip.
Nice.
3 of the trips.
I had the
yeah, I should have slow played it, but I was like, whatever, let's have fun.
Yeah, you would have gotten some money if you slow played it.
I think there's another aspect that you haven't hit, William, which is like Helium hotspots actually have a functionality which people don't talk about enough, I think, which is a lot of businesses just have like a random guest network or no guest network. They just give their password out to everybody.
Right.
And therefore they have access to computers and printers and all this stuff. Well, you can privatize that, put a password on it, and install a Helium hotspot. And now you basically have like a firewall connection. And then you get paid for it. So you're adding some functionality that some businesses need, and the small businesses love it when you realize, like, hey, I can go on and show you the printer that's on your network right now, and I could print from it. You know, what happens whenever I try to hack your computer? Well, you know, let's privatize that, then let's add this thing on here. Oh, by the way, I'm going to split, you know, if depending on location, you know, $100 to $600 with you a month, or nothing if you're really a smooth talker. So anyway, for me, that's my pitch.
Insurance.
So,
I have a question for you, Isle. When you're usually kind of reaching out to these like gyms or like public establishment, are people fairly open to the idea?
So I don't actually have any like Helium deployments out. So like I've talked to my neighbors and like other friends and like installing stuff in their homes. And they seem very receptive just because I talk about the revenue and everything, and they're like, oh, that sounds really cool, and they trust me and whatnot. But I have spoken to just kind of entertaining the idea. I've spoken to a couple of city employees that I have connections with here in my town about installing some stuff in city infrastructure, like helium hotspots. And they seem receptive, but the only thing that they're worried about is just kind of like how new everything is. Or it's like, oh, like, well, how established is this? Like, how old? Like, how long has this thing been like around? Like, we don't want to like install something that's just like not going to pan out, you know? Or maybe it introduce like some security risks, which, you know, I try to say like, well, no, there's like, you know, it's again very minimal risks to you. I am taking all the risk here, especially in like the contracts I'm forming with them, or again entertaining those ideas. But my friends, like my neighbors and whatnot, are very much more receptive to the idea than like, let's say, a government, a city government, which is very regulatorily bound. Even though they are interested in the idea, they're just like, wait a minute, like we don't know.
Interesting. Yeah, I've always been pondering about whether I could just set one up outside, but I live in New York, so I feel like
I'll pay you.
someone.
I was gonna say, every single one of us is like, I'll send you one tomorrow overnight. Yeah.
So I live in Tallahassee, Florida, and we have a ton of tree coverage here, and that's why I've not installed a geonet miner on my roof, because I have way too many trees above my house. So it's like it wouldn't make sense to do Wingbits or geodet in my house because it's just there's no visible, like the visibility to satellites and whatnot is way low.
Shout out to Wingbits. That by the way is an amazing project.
Yeah, that too.
So if you don't know Wingbits is a flight tracking deep end, and basically like they're tracking pretty much every flight in the world already.
Yeah,
it is a absolutely amazing project. So the infrastructure around for flight tracking is really terrible. Like, so what they've done is they partnered up with Geode recently, is installed a flight tracking ADS tracker with GeoNet, and it tracks flights overhead, and you earn rewards off it. They're still in testnet. One of the interesting parts is they want to monetize. That was their whole goal this quarter and last 2 quarters, is to monetize. Well, they went to talk to people and they said, well, how do we trust this data? And they said, well, we got to work on that. And they came back and said, okay, we're going to have to add these things to your grandfathered in units. And then we're going to sell these units that have GPS coordinates. That way we know exactly where you're set up, so we can trust the data. And it brought up a really good point, is we're collecting all of this data. How do we know we can trust it?
Yeah.
And that conversation is happening not just in sensor data, but it's happening in AI. It's happening in GPU and CPU. How do we know we can trust what's coming out of these decentralized networks? So there's some really good solutions out there, with GeoNet being, I think, the primary one. Most people are partnered up with GeoNet at this point. So
one of the awesome things about the Wingbit story, by the way, they were one of the earlier projects that we had on the podcast. Part of the reason why they came to the business model that they did was that flight tracking used to be this kind of just collective social good, if you will, that was actually made up of a bunch of pilot enthusiasts who were all contributing to this decentralized flight tracking network. And in exchange, they would get access to like tools and infrastructure that would be kind of needed if you were an enthusiast pilot. And what happened was that software got acquired by a private equity fund that they bought to essentially monetize. So all of the node operators that were doing it because they wanted to get access to this flight tracking data because they were enthusiast pilots effectively got screwed and they got kicked off. And so that's where like Wingbits came in, and they said, hey, we can incentivize you with this deepen model to be able to provide this information. And so it was one of those things where you saw like the inefficiencies or sort of the lack of ability to do this within a Web 2 model that was equitable, that made sense for everybody involved. And they were able to use this, token incentivized network model to basically replicate or rebuild what had already been done historically, which I think is such a cool part of the story that doesn't get enough press. But I just love seeing that with Wingbits specifically.
And it's a phenomenal project. Like, when you realize they have, I think, every single state in the United States has a device and tracking the entire state. And there's like, I think besides one, I think like Wyoming was the last holdout, right? It's a phenomenal concept, it's a phenomenal idea. And you got to realize, if a flight goes down and there's not enough data to triangulate its position, we don't know where it goes down. Like
Yeah.
we have to make guesses, and the fact that D-Pin can actually help in that manner is pretty awesome.
No, that's amazing. Almost amazing as Isles thinking face as he was contemplating
Yeah.
Veronica's all in last hand.
I was like, I don't know. I was like going through
mean-
the odds in my head. I was like, wait a minute.
I'll give
Rock-
you guys a hint. I have to leave in a couple minutes.
Yeah, no,
Well,
we usually
oh,
kind of
okay.
do a little bit of a stop around here. I think we can go a little bit extra, maybe 5 or 10, 15 minutes if you guys want. I'm really enjoying the conversation. Seems like you guys are as well. I don't know who invited the show. Usually I'm like around the middle ground here. I've been having a good night. I appreciate that. I don't know who invited Jay the Shark over here. We're gonna have to rename your name over here. But GG's, congrats. But
Likewise,
thank
likewise.
you.
And props to Veronica. We haven't brought up that Veronica's on her first buy-in. She's still kicking it. You know, she hasn't.
972 left. Yep.
I'm a loser over here.
She's winning hands, like doubling her stack. You know, and she's making massive bluffs and getting away with it. It's awesome. I'm like impressed, dude. Honestly,
I think this would be really fun to do IRL. It's always really different to play online. So
Yeah.
It depends on where you play IRL. Like the closest poker room to my house is a tiny poker room in Gretna, Florida, in the middle of the woods. Like it's like in the middle of the woods. I kid you not, off the interstate, and it's like kind of sketchy. But I've had a good time. I haven't got robbed there yet, so
Not yet.
Brian and I are both in Texas, so we might be able to set something up here where we could recreate the magic here IRL.
Very nice.
I'll go down to Austin. Then we'll hit was it 6th Street? 7th Street? 6th Street.
We'll do
6th Street. 6th Street.
6th Street, yeah. Sorry, Fort Worth has 7th Street, right?
Hey, dude, Casino El Camino.
one-up thing.
The burger there is really good.
I went to Austin for the first time for Consensus this past year. Yeah, so and like
Nice.
some of the gaming projects will get a house and they'll kind of hang out. So every now and then we'll like, you know, late at night grab a deck of cards and play. So it'd be cool to, I don't know, maybe we can organize a get together at Consensus next year. Do a little D-Pin IRL poker night.
Did we talk
know, they
about
moved
the
it-
phone call
they moved
that
it
you gave
from-
me, Icy?
We could talk about it.
Oh my gosh,
So,
you know what would be a blast?
Icy and I exchanged phone numbers. Sorry, Brian. I was just going to say just real fast. Icy and I saw each other at Consensus and we exchanged like IRL phone numbers. And then like next morning, I'm like waking up. I'm like getting ready to do a little work and whatnot. I hit the shower. I get out of the shower. I'm just in a towel. And all of a sudden I get a FaceTime from Icy, like a FaceTime call, like why I'm still not clothed, like just in a towel. And I was like, it might be an emergency, so I'm gonna answer this just in case. And then I answer it, and Icy says, "Oh, Isle, dude, I thought I was trying to call my girlfriend." And he's like, "Oh, what's up?" And he's like, "Anyways, how you doing, dude?" We just like started talking. I was like, "Yeah, I'm doing good, man. I just got out of the shower. It's pretty great." Like. And that's the moment I fell in love with Icy. I was like, this guy is so great. Like, oh my God. He's just like, oh, dude, I was trying to call my girlfriend, but like, how are you doing? Like, what's going on?
You know, it's another level of friendship when you have each other's phone numbers, you know, like you're not just talking on Discord or Telegram or on Twitter or DMs, you know.
That was so funny.
Hold on, I have a good
anyways,
hand here,
go
so
ahead,
yeah, I
Tyler.
have to turn this back off. Hopefully.
Nice win,
Oh, I was
Veronica.
gonna say-
See?
thank
Ooh,
you. Thank
Veronica's
you.
in
We'll
here.
make it. We'll
Veronica.
make it
Double
fun
their
right
money.
now.
All right, I gotta call
I'll be a
Veronica.
customer.
Good
I
luck.
got a call.
This might be the hand
Oh
of the
wow.
night.
3-way call.
A bag.win moment. 8-8 deuce on the flop. Couldn't get more exciting than that. Action flop.
We're gonna
Well,
check this
well,
around.
We should definitely plan to do this IRL with the same players. I think that would
All right,
be fun.
Veronica,
That'd be
I'm gonna
great.
get you some insurance. Give me a second.
Oh, this guy.
Oh.
Give me a second.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh,
Uh-oh.
dude. Tyler, I'll show you here. I'll show you if you're not in.
Okay, I'm like watching
That
the
did
live
not
stream
even
on
work at
phone.
all.
Oh my gosh.
Nobody left.
Nobody's doing this.
Nobody. All right.
Don't
that's
do
all
it.
you can
Let me
Veronica.
know
I'm
if you can
sorry.
see it.
Oh my
Congrats,
gosh.
I see.
Take it
Oh,
down.
wow.
With
You
that,
had the ace,
guys,
that's
we're gonna
why.
say goodbye to Veronica Buron, building eclipse.fnd. I'm gonna drop your links in the stream and also
I'm doing a clap
the
and a
chat.
wave for you, Veronica. If you want to look at my character, I don't know if you can
thank you.
still turn.
Veronica.
I don't think I can see anymore. They've kicked me out.
Thank
Oh,
you,
no,
Shout.
so much for
Relegated.
coming and playing, Veronica. It was absolutely a pleasure to meet you. If there's anything that we can do on the gaming side to support you or what you're doing, please reach out. Let me know. I loved hearing more about Eclipse and the whole deep in space. So I'm glad that you got to connect with some people here for the first time. That's kind of what this game night is about. We try to bring people together, have a little bit of fun playing poker, but really, spend some time getting to know each other.
Yeah, awesome. I'll give you
Max.
guys a follow and hit you up on Twitter.
Please do.
Appreciate it, brother.
Please do, Veronica.
All right,
For
sister.
sure.
See you guys.
Appreciate it,
Bye.
brother.
Bye. Have a
Good job,
great night.
Veronica. Thanks
Likewise.
for taking all my money.
Bye.
I know.
Yeah,
This is what Icy does. So Icy he funds all the buy-ins and then he just gets it all back in
Bro,
the game.
that's
his
right.
strategy.
Yeah,
No,
that's the strategy.
Winning
I give the
strategy.
disclaimer in the beginning because when I first started playing on the site, dude, like I was having a great time, but then like normal, you bust your account and then you deposit more and then you're just chasing all your losses.
But you can ask questions and like completely throw off the rest of it.
I didn't mean to do it. I'm so sorry. I just
God,
wanted
this
to know
RNG
so
is
much
so
about
awful,
you
bro.
guys.
I love doing podcasts. I love having like projects on, but this is definitely the most fun I've had talking about Deep In while getting to play poker by
Hey,
a wide
let's
margin.
go. That is an
Yeah.
endorsement. I love to
So,
hear that,
100%.
Tyler. I'm glad that you had fun,
I
man.
have an idea. We need to get Vossler Studios. Have you seen that place? By the way,
Yeah.
it's like LED screen on the back. It's like huge curved screen, like professional studio, and do like a crypto poker game. That would be so much fun. And you could have the background awesome. It'd be legit. It'd be legitimately
Totally.
the coolest thing.
That would be
If
sick.
you didn't watch Deep in Day Seattle, you should. Like the background was awesome. I'll put a link in the comments later.
That would be sick.
So I'm doing a live stream for Tyler, by the way, in the Discord. I really hope none of you guys are watching my live feed. Just saying.
Don't cheat.
Wait, what?
Don't watch
Yeah,
the
I was gonna
stream.
turn it
Is what
off.
he's saying.
I just looked at my hand like very briefly. I know what I have, so I'm not gonna look down at my hand again.
There you go.
I turn on camera. I don't have my ring light up.
What a legend. What a legend. I like Tyler's background, man. You got the guitars back there.
Yeah, Tyler's
the
got a great
music
background.
set. Looking
My
good
wife
out
spent
there.
all my crypto money on my background.
Bro, I hear you, man. I'm in gaming, so like, first thing when I started streaming, it was just like on my laptop and like a little Brio 4K camera, and then I bought like a gaming PC, I bought a DSLR, I got a green screen
Wow.
back here, it's like
Amazing.
gets intense.
Full setup.
Oh wow, everybody called that? Wow.
Oh, I folded. I didn't want no parts.
Oh, sorry. You're trying to maintain your stack at this point. Oh, whoa. I'm gonna call that. Oh my gosh, what is going on here?
Yeah, deep
Oh.
in crypto versus deep in daily.
That's
Loser of the hand has to drop the deep in. Or buy the
All
other
right.
one a node. Oh.
I'll let you have that. I'll let you have that, Brian.
Appreciate it, brother.
Hey,
Appreciate it.
I win.
I had pair of sixes.
Oh.
You had a pair of sixes? My
Yeah.
God,
Oh, you had a
I
pair-
should've-
Did you have me?
I had kings. I had kings.
Wow.
Oh,
I-
what?
I-
You
I-
folded kings?
I was gonna be
Nothing
more
you can do
aggressive,
on
but
that board.
the ace made me very dainty there. The ace made me
I
very scared.
understand. I understand.
That's
Yeah, I
bad.
mean, there's not much you can do on that board.
Yeah, it just sucked. The whole thing sucked. Uh,
I mean, if he has a 9, if he has a 7, if he's got an ace, like, what's he
exactly.
going all
Yeah,
in
that's
with,
what I'm
right?
thinking. I'm just thinking about all the ranges like he could be playing with, and I was like, dude, like
Alright.
this is. I lose like 3 times out of 4.
Yeah.
like right here.
Yeah.
So I'll ask another question because I don't know. I just have questions off the top of my head. What excites you most, or what's coming in the next 6 months or a year that you're most excited about?
Me?
Sure. And anybody.
Take it.
And deep end, of course.
I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see a lot of the mainstream take more notice of us. Like I've been seeing like lots of things like Deutsche Telekom has a node, which if no one on the stream knows what Deutsche Telekom is, that's T-Mobile. They have a peak network node over in Europe when it goes mainnet. So that's a really big customer. That's a really big like kind of a company that's going to be involved in the space to a degree. I just think that like seeing more like that, seeing more news like that, more partnerships, more kind of awareness around the space, and more things like Moody's, even Moody's rating agency, like they made that article about Deepin. They're like, oh, we think this technology has a place. Like we think that companies like AT&T and T-Mobile are going to adopt it. We think this makes sense. It's still a bit early, but they want to see where it goes. And just seeing that excitement, seeing kind of the more light bulb moments happen in Deepin and just in crypto in general, it just gets me really, really pumped. So I'm excited to see more people take us seriously, especially on the Web3 gaming front, especially on the Deepin front. And just more people have like that moment of, oh, wait, this isn't a scam. Maybe this can work.
I love it.
By the way, there's
Oh, go ahead, Tyler. Well, Tyler,
right,
can I do
go
two
ahead, go
quick
ahead.
things? One, I want to do a bomb pot next hand, the four of us. I think we should all put in $5, no matter what cards we have, and then go to the flop and then play the hand normally from there. So there'll be like $20 in the pot, which can get a little crazy. That'll be fun. And then, Tyler, I'll let you go, but I also just wanted to ask Isle a question once you're done.
No, go ahead. Ask away. We'll let this be part of the bomb pot conversation.
Okay.
Thanks, Tyler. So awesome.
No. So hold on, it's on me. So I'll raise it to 5, and then everyone should call. Oh, there we go. Okay. Isle, no, I'm curious, man, because you were doing gaming, and then you were doing Deepin, and we had a conversation where you were thinking like, hey, should I go into gaming and like make more content in gaming? Or should I go into Deepin, make more content in Deepin? Can I do both? And I was like, it's really effective to kind of like go all in on one area, and then you can kind of like grow within that. You've done that with Deepin, and it's been awesome to see you do that, kind of level up your content, get out there more. I'm just curious how it's been going for you and how you feel about like, yeah, just making that decision to go hard with Deepin.
I'm really happy with the decision I made because I realized that I love gaming. Like I do. I really love gaming, but it is definitely more of a hobby for me.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm an enthusiast. I will support all these crypto games. I will, like especially like Off the Grid, Shrapnel, things like that. I love them, and I'll shout them out continuously. But if I'm gonna create content about something, like I feel like I just have more of like a connection with things like real world asset narratives and Deepin because I like understand them. I wholeheartly believe in them and their mission. And I believe how like revolutionary they're going to be for the world and not just for like, and I'm not trying to say this as like a slight to gamers, but I feel like gaming is it's a smaller subsect of the population of the world that I feel like Deepin's and RWAs like reach out to the rest of the world, like all of the world, as just opposed to the gaming community of the world. Yeah. So I'm really happy with the choice I made. It's been going very well. I've been meeting tons of people. I've been meeting I met Brian here. I met Tyler. I met Scott through it. I met a lot of people, man, and it's just like a lot of people that's like really changed my life for the better. I got my first gig in Web3 via Deepin. I'm actually making revenue now, which is great. Like via a little side gig I can't talk about, but eventually I will disclose.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't want to say
now I'm intrigued. You're gonna deep me later, right?
I'll disclose it. I'll disclose it behind the scenes. But when we're off stream. But yeah, it's just been great, man. I'm really happy with the decision I made. I want to start streaming again, though. I want to start streaming games again. Yeah. I do miss that just because it's fun. Like I want to stream with you. I want to stream with the boys. I want to just like have a good time, play some games sometimes, because in the end, I started off as a gamer and I know I'll die a gamer. Yeah. So I'm always going to play games. I mean, if no one can see behind me on my stream, I have a signed picture of Master Chief there from Steve Downs himself.
Yeah.
Steve Downs, like the voice of Master Chief, is on my little podium back there next to my Pudgy Penguin. So
I
feel like gamers like are this is like the perfect mix and the perfect timing because I grew up playing like LAN, like 4 Xboxes connected, like 16 player Halo. Like that's me,
sir.
like right. Everyone's thinking amen on this. And I think that's the people we're really connecting to this movement right here is people that are used to building tech, people that are used to plugging multiple things into each other and, having 4-port switches and 5-port switches and connecting Xboxes and stuff. Yeah. So
I was going to say that the other thing that's really awesome about Deepin is that there's actually quite an interesting intersection between the gaming space and sort of this decentralized physical hardware networks, or physical infrastructure networks. I had one of the more recent podcasts that we did was with a guy named John Radoff, who's currently the CEO of Beamable, but he ran a gaming studio and he was the guy behind like one of the Star Trek games, the Game of Thrones game, a couple other like big, like I think Walking Dead was one of them, like pretty AAA titles. And so one of the things that he was talking to me about was that there's a lot of these indie game developers who will build games, they'll sort of put them out there, and then the infrastructure that they're running their games on will either be deprecated or they'll just like no longer support whatever they're doing. And so he's saying one of the things that was really awesome about Deepin was that now you've got this incentive mechanism to keep the infrastructure running that powers the game. And there's like so many layers that are required for being able to build these different like massive game titles. But it was really interesting to hear how like the value proposition of sort of a decentralized network, whether that's at the GPU layer.
I just get screwed over every time, man.
I'm never gonna trust Isle again when it comes to poker. No, I'm just.
Hey, Trunk, have you seen what's going on with Tashi?
Screwing me over, bro.
with Tashi, you said?
Yeah. Look at.
No, I haven't. Please tell me more.
Tashi Gaming. Okay, they have like real world uses outside of gaming, but one of the things they're doing is it's decentralized gaming. By the way, it's Deepin. It's phenomenally awesome. And one of the things they're doing is in the EU. There's this big argument and lawsuit right now that says that you have the right. Sorry, I'm playing. You have the right to play a game after like it's met its cycle.
Yeah.
Oh, $1.20. This is a great hand. Anyway, so what they've done basically is if you add Tashi Gaming to the stack, basically you can play peer-to-peer gaming again, and the games you love and you've spent all this time on will never die, which is phenomenal. But get this, this is like a big bet. This is a this is just a start.
By accident.
So the technology is actually pretty awesome.
Queen, ace, queen.
Bag that win moment.
No!
Queen.
Oh, he gets a queen. Oh, no.
Sorry.
Huge double up for Brian. Isle is
Anyway,
down to
This is the RNG I'm
$30.
talking about, bro. What the hell?
All right, guys.
Anyway,
I
what?
love it.
I'm gonna let
They're
Brian finish, but
de-risking.
then I'm gonna
Go
suggest
ahead.
something to close out the game night, which I think will be fun. But I'll let you finish, Brian.
Anyway, they're using the gaming to de-risk the technology so they can apply it to other industries. And like Ken, okay, there's two main players, I think, two of the top minds. Ken from Tashi Gaming, who's the CTO, and Brandon Baker, who's the CEO of Conduit. And I think those two combined are going to revolutionize the entire industry. So Ken with Tashi Gaming is his mind on how things work and what he's doing with Tashi. He was one of the guys with Hedera, one of the top guys at Hedera. Yeah, and so shout out to them. Anyway, so those two guys, go listen to what they have to say. They're phenomenal, and what they're doing with gaming is cool. But what they're going to do with it after they de-risk it is awesome.
I am super interested to find out more. Yeah, I'll do some research and appreciate you bringing it up.
I love that.
It's a big opportunity without question.
Nice.
I'll be out there.
Nice. Yeah, so let's close out the game. I want to do something super fun. We'll do 5 more hands. I think we should all put in $5 each. I'll hopefully,
every single hand of the 5,
every single hand, and then just check it all the way down. So each pot will be worth about $20. And if it equalizes out, we'll see.
I'm not gonna have any money.
We'll come all the way up.
Let's bag that win. Hold up, bag that win.
Hold up.
Bag that win moment.
I mean, if I call,
I'm not gonna have any money.
So I don't know. Nice.
Huge hand for
Huge
Brian
hand.
there.
Brian's over here just killing
$165.
it.
He is right back in it. Trunkletron has been dethroned.
All right, $5, Brian.
Yikes.
$5.
Yeah, let's all put in
Oh,
5.
wait.
Oh, no, you're going to fold.
I can't push the button fast enough. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Next
All right,
round,
we'll
next
try
round.
it.
We'll do it next time.
You can't only push that plus sign fast, so fast.
Yeah. You can type it in, but it is a little tricky.
Oh,
If you run out of time, just call, and then someone else can raise it up, and then we'll just go around that way. You guys have been so gracious for your time. I was enjoying the conversation so much that I wanted to let it go just a little bit long. But I do want to be respectful of your evenings. It's crazy, man. When we host these poker games, like 2 hours just flies by like that, man.
Flies by.
You know, if you're
Yeah,
on a
crazy, dude.
2 hour space, sometimes it can drag on, or you're having a great space. Like if this was a deep in space, I'm sure it'd just fly by like that. But yeah, the night just goes by so fast, but I do want to be respectful of everyone's time. So we're going to do the final 5 hands of tonight's D-Pin poker night with Isle Marauder, Brian from the D-Pin Crypto Network, Jay from Trunkletron. We got Tyler from Unleashing D-Pin, and of course Veronica has left us from
Eclipse.
Eclipse. Is it Fund or Foundation, or what's the FND from on Eclipse?
I think Foundation, yeah.
Foundation. Okay. All right. We got a $20 pot. We're checking it down. This is hand number 1 of 5. Who's going to be? I have a bunch of. No, I've got.
I have a
some
straight.
outs.
I have a straight.
you have the straight.
You're winning.
Yeah, I have the straight.
7-5.
I've got quad 8s.
I have a pair.
I've got quads.
He's like, now I want to show my hand.
Let's go.
All right. Straight up to Isle is going to take the first of the 5 hands. Shout out Falcon21 jumping into the Discord chat. We are just closing out our D-Pin poker night here. Hand number 2. Let's see if Isle can keep winning. Last week we had the first person win the first 3 hands back to back to back. It was absolutely insane.
I'm one off a flush.
Oh my goodness. Can he
It's
do
just
it?
everybody checks, right? Yeah, everybody
Yeah.
just checks all the time. Okay.
Can he do it?
Yes, let's go. I hit the flush.
What? What? You hit flush again?
He's got the
I had the straight. I had the
flush.
straight last time, and I got the flush this time.
I wish I had a 4 there. It'd be nice.
Is Isle gonna go
Let's
2
go.
for 2?
Let's go.
There it is.
This is what we should have been
Lady
doing.
Luck coming back
Man.
to my side. Let's go.
All right, the first 2 hands go to Isle. Can he get it? Is he gonna win the 3rd one, or is someone else gonna get it? Let's see.
What's everyone rocking?
Oh.
I got 9-10.
Oh my
ace-
god! I
ace
just hit the
deuce.
trips.
An
I just hit the trip 7s, bro. Let's go.
No
I have
way.
trip
Sevens?
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
have trip
god.
7s. Yeah.
Evans?
Yeah, I have trip
You're-
7s, bro.
if you win all these hands, I'm gonna be upset.
I've got a 10.
There's no way someone's gonna beat it with trip 7s. Yeah.
Let's
Wow.
go, baby.
Dude,
Oh
3
my
hands in a
God.
row. It's the wine. Oh
Will
my
they go
goodness.
all the way? That's the
It's
question.
the back
Will it
dot
go
win
all the
devs.
way?
They're backing me up now.
There's no way you win all 4, dude.
I'm not gonna win this one for sure. I'm not winning this one for sure.
I should have gone all in just to mess with you.
Dude, I went from like $30 to $70.
Oh my god, I might win this one.
No,
I've got
I got
4
outs.
high.
I got
it needs
outs.
to be like 10-9 here. No, oh, never mind. Scratch that.
Pair of 3s? Pair of 3s?
There are 3 wins.
Oh damn.
I got the
Jeez.
king. Don't worry.
Jam. You just won then. Nice.
Yep.
I had the queen. That's what I say. I might
Whoa.
win if no one gets a fucking.
Oh, you had it till the river. All right, so Brian's gonna take down pot number 4. Can Jay and I take down this 5th and final pot?
Oh, I have a terrible hand.
We'll go to
4
Isle.
I got something. I got
4-3
something.
offsuit, guys.
I got
Queen
9
9
deuce.
suited.
You had
Oh,
king
there's a
queen.
3. There's a 3.
Oh. I have a queen 9 suited.
He's got the queen. It's looking good for him.
Oh.
The ace
Maybe your
popped.
last card will be a
Who-
5.
Who's got Jack 10?
No,
Oh my
no.
gosh.
Let's go.
Nice.
Isle's gonna win
Oh, man.
the 5th final pot,
That's 4
going
out of
4
5,
for
baby.
5.
4 out of 5. That's
Goes
insane.
from $30 to $80. Absolutely amazing. I'm gonna sit out here. Guys, thank you so very much. You were so gracious with your time, so gracious with the information. I learned a ton. I got a bunch of projects to research, a bunch of podcasts that I got to subscribe to. I'll definitely be following you guys. Anybody in the audience or who watches the VOD back, give it up one time for tonight's poker players. We had Tyler from Unleashing D-Pin, William Isle Marauder, the sexiest man in D-Pin, in gaming, in crypto. Look at this guy, couple goals.
Let's go.
You know, just one of the best, man. One of the best. We had Brian from Dpin Crypto Network, and of course Veronica from Eclipse, and finally our surprise guest for the evening, Jay from the Grid Network. We'll drop all your Twitters and projects in the links down below. Guys, thank you so much for your time. You are definitely welcome back anytime. Thank you for trying out Bag.Win. Thank you, Bag.Win, for putting on the poker nights and supporting my game nights. It's super fun. You guys can also host your own private games now. You've got money in your accounts. You can bring your friends on and have fun like we just did.
Outstanding. Well,
Awesome.
appreciate the invite.
I see.
And it was so
Yeah.
cool learning about Dpin today, even more. All I knew going into this today was I have helium devices and I think helium's cool. And that's literally all I had. And so learning so much more today was awesome. Thank you.
I bullied William there.
Appreciate you
Sorry.
hosting. This was so much fun, man. This was a memorable experience to say the least.
Let's go. Let's
What?
go. With that, guys, we're going to stop the stream. We'll see you in the next one. We'll be back next week with a new poker game. We'll be back with more crypto gaming content. And maybe we'll be having some Dpin content soon because I'm super into some of these things. I'm going to get myself a helium hotspot. I'm going to download the software and start earning, man. What the heck?
Silencio, dude. What are you doing? Go walk your dog and just map some noise pollution.
Yeah, man. You gotta listen. If we're gonna be polluting our noise and sound and stuff, like